Sports. We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
This Twins and Rockies series is brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200 with available all-wheel drive. It's America's import. Today it's the final game of the series and the first half of the season here at Coors Field. The matchup on the mound features Brett Anderson for the Rockies, making his first start since April the 12th. He had an index finger that he was dealing with for the Twins. It's been their best pitcher all season long as far as starters go. Phil Hughes in search of his 10th win of the season today. Welcome inside the ballpark. It's another beautiful day for baseball here in the downtown Denver area. This does mark the unofficial end of the first half of the season for the Minnesota Twins. Let's take a look at what we've seen on this road trip to get us there. Starting pitching has been brilliant throughout most of this trip. A couple of shutouts in Seattle by Gibson and by the man starting today, Phil Hughes. Yesterday, Kevin Correa, 6 innings, just 1 run against in this hitter's ballpark. Kendrys Morales has been on a sizzle. Started out as a DH. He's first base here in the National League Park. He's been ripping the cover off the ball. Over 307 RBIs in the 6 road games. This trip already a successful trip at 4-2. It's the second winning road trip for the Twins this season. Ron Gardner said it'd be huge to go 5-2 and get momentum for the Twins into the All-Star break. And what a grind it has been to close out the first half of the season. It started way back on June the 24th in Los Angeles. 20 games in 20 days for the Minnesota Twins. They'll try to get a win and get some time off. When we come back, our analyst Roy Smalley breaks down the first half of the year for the Minnesota Twins.
Yes, everyone is looking forward to the All-Star break, even those who won't be getting much of a break, like Kurt Suzuki. The Twins catcher will be a catcher in the American League squad Tuesday night in the All-Star game. Brian Dozier will participate in the Home Run Derby tomorrow night. And, of course, Glenn Perkins will pitch out of the bullpen for the American League at Target Field as well. And with that, we bring you to Coors Field. Final game of the first half of the year. Dick Bramer along with Roy Smalley. Now, the Twins' record says that they're just marginally better than they were a year ago, but for some reason it feels different.
It feels very much different this year, mainly because of some really terrific individual performances. These guys have helped the Twins feel like they've got a chance to win every time out. Of course, Phil Hughes, clearly the best starting pitcher on the staff through this first half of the season, pre-All-Star break. And what would the Twins have done without Kurt Suzuki and Brian Dozier? They're my co-MVPs this year. Kurt Suzuki both behind the plate and at the plate, just terrific at all phases of the game. And Brian Dozier, 16 home runs. He has 108 RBI run production, run scored combination. And we all know what kind of defense he's played. He's one of the few guys that can impact the game with his glove, actually change the face and pace of the game. Best rookie of the year, no question. Danny Santana, the Twins would love to get him back quickly, get that excitement, that electricity back for the whole second half of the season. He's been a wonderful, wonderful surprise. And speaking of surprises, the positives in this first half, there really have been. Correa, Gibson, and Hughes have given the Twins a starting staff, at least the three of them, that have given the team a chance to win most times that they go out there. And the defense, as advertised, the bullpen, as advertised, has been really, really good. I think, Dick, the reason why it feels so much different is that these guys, when they go and take the field, the fans and they kind of expect they're going to have a chance to win the game. That feels different than last year.
And a year ago, the Twins really struggled going into the All-Star break, and they have a chance, if they can pick up a win here this afternoon, to go into the All-Star break with some momentum for the second half. Twins started this road trip in Seattle, taking 3 out of 4 from a really good Seattle ball club. And now a chance here today to win this series with this Menards batting order. Brian Dozier leading off. And then Kurt Suzuki, Kendrys Morales. We'll show you the entire lineup here shortly. And Dozier takes down and in, ball one. Dozier with a hit, an RBI, and one of the best defensive plays in Major League Baseball this year to snuff out a Rocky rally in the middle innings in yesterday's game. 1-1. Two and one. Got a beautiful day here. Threat of rain, I guess, later in the day, but we hope to not have any showers during the game as we've had in games 1 and 2. And from what we hear, it's just spectacular back home for the Futures game at Target Field. This one hit to right center field and deep. This ball's got some carry. That ball is one high. It bounces over the wall for a leadoff double. And Brian Dozier will stand at second base again after a leadoff extra base hit.
Dozier getting his bat going here, coming into the break, and a great time to do so right before getting a chance to be in the home run derby. And this is something I love to see. We know Brian can pull the ball to left field, hit the ball out of the ballpark. To see him hitting to the opposite gap, that is going to make him a much, much more dangerous hitter. The only thing that kept Brian out of the All-Star game was a lower batting average at 237. He starts swinging it that way to the opposite field, and that's going to be 277 one of these years before you know it.
Second game in a row where Dozier's led off the game with a double, and now Kurt Suzuki. Didn't start the game yesterday, but he finished it. That is foul. We've seen Suzuki do that 2 or 3 times already in this series, grounding it just foul by the first base bag. Here's the Menards batting order. Dozier followed by catcher Kurt Suzuki, Kendrys Morales, Trevor Plouffe. Oswaldo Arcia became ill overnight. He was in the original starting lineup, scratched for Chris Parmelee, Josh Willingham, Eduardo Escobar, Sam Fuld, and Phil Hughes. 1-1 to Suzuki. And a strike call. It's already been a good day for Suzuki. He was given another run batted in after the official scoring change yesterday. Anderson just off the disabled list. Suffered an injured finger back in April, just coming off the list today. Wow, what an at-bat. And Suzuki's going to get a base hit out of this. That pitch was down and in, and Suzuki, efforting to hit the ball to the right side, somehow did that and ends up getting another infield hit.
You'd really like to have your second hitter with a little bit more speed than being your catcher, but all other phases of hitting second, this guy is a terrific second spot hitter. Hits the ball behind a nasty, nasty pitch. Still hits the ball behind the runner to get him, Dozier, over to third and gets a base hit for his efforts. Nice, nice job. And what was interesting about that, Dick, you know, hitters, right-handed hitters attempting to hit the ball to the right side are so protective of the ball from the middle in like that. He took a fastball on the outside part of the plate, would seem to be the easiest one to hit over there, and then hit the nasty one.
And now Morales lifting the first pitch foul, 1 strike. Morales got the Twins headed in the right direction yesterday with a first inning double. Drove in a couple of runs. Down and in, 1-1. No question Morales' bat is heating up, and to the surprise of no one, I think everyone realized that it would take a while in the neighborhood of 100 at bats for him to be brought up to speed. That one bounced to third, and now Dozier is going to try to come home, and it will be a double play. Dozier hesitated. They got the force at second, and then LeMahieu threw home. Last time I saw that play, it was the last home game of the 1987 schedule when Al Newman threw home.
And a similar base running mistake in both of the instances to which you referred, Dick. Once Brian hesitated, then right there he goes back to the bag. He's got no chance if LeMahieu is alert, and he certainly was there. had plenty of time and plenty of arm once Bryant hesitated.
Al Newman threw out Willie Wilson. And Dozier running into a peculiar double play, and now Plouffe drives one to right center field, and the only question is, will it stay in the ballpark? Now the question is, will Morales score? And the answer is no. A pair of doubles and a single, and yet the Twins do not have a run in this first inning.
And that's too bad about the base running mistake there. When you're on third base with runners on first and third in a double play situation and nobody out, you either have to go home immediately on a ball that's hit hard to stay out of the double play, as we watch Trevor Plouffe have a really, really nice at bat and a nice swing driving the ball to right center. And here's the problem. Kendrys Morales doing the best he can, but on that surgically repaired ankle from a few years back, just not able to make three bases at a time in most ballparks. If you're not going to do it here, chances are you're not going to do it anywhere.
And now Parmalee. He takes a strike on the outside corner. Let's check out the Northland 4 defense for the Rockies. Corey Dickerson in left field. Charlie Blackmon in center. Carlos Gonzalez in right. Arenado, Tulowitzki, LeMahieu, Morneau, the infielders, Rosario doing the catching. A big at bat here for Chris Parmalee. He came up in the ballgame late last night. Finally got a hit with men in scoring position. Drove in a couple of runs. And now the same situation here. And he takes strike two. A couple of them on the outside corner, and now he's in a hole. Parmalee had gone 0 for 28 with men in scoring position this year, and he rifled a single to center and drove in a couple of runs. And now 1-2.
Here's what we were talking about. If you watch Brian Dozier, he's either got to go right there to stay out of the double play, or he's got to hold up one way or the other. He can't. He was in between there, and they got the worst kind of double play as a result.
Outside 2-2.
In that situation, when you run around third, you generally go, if it's a double play ball like that one was, go immediately, or if it's not, if you feel like you can't get a double play on a slow hit ball, then you hold up because you don't want to be the only out they get. And
Parmalee delivers again.
At this time against a left-hander, and Chris Parmalee has been terrific against left-handed pitchers this year. Has not been terrific driving in runs, hitting with runners in scoring position, and yet the last two games, two huge hits.
That's a big one. It would have been hard to swallow getting two ringing doubles on an infield hit and not getting a run.
Yep.
And now Parmalee with a bounder up the middle, driving in the first two runs of the game.
Second time in a row that a Twins hitter delivered a huge hit after some unfortunate occurrences were on ahead of him. Yesterday, Morales getting the double after the Twins unable to get the runner over from second and third. He got up there with two out and delivered a double.
Here's Willingham taking ball one. And now ball two. Has to be frustrating for Anderson. I mean, he was on the cusp of getting out of this with two outs and 0-2 to Parmalee. Then on a 2-2 pitch, Parmalee with the base hit that scored the first two runs. And now 2-0 to Willingham. 3-0, Escobar on deck. See, Willingham's green lighted here. Twins already have a 2-0 lead. Takes a strike. Three and one. Lace to left. And the Twins already with 5 hits in this first inning against Brett Anderson.
Good swing right here by Josh. Waits on an off-speed pitch and laces it to left. You know, hitting against some left-handers here might be just the thing to get Josh going in the second half. Yeah, have some good at-bats against a left-hander or two, and then go into the 4-day break and completely forget about baseball and hitting for a while. Come back absolutely fresh, maybe with his mind clear when the second half of the season starts.
And Escobar's enjoyed hitting here at Coors Field. He takes a strike over the inside corner. Seventh man to bat here in the first against Anderson. To right center field. Down for a hit. And it too will go to the wall. Cut off out there by Blackman. Willingham's going to come home on a 2-run double by Escobar. 6 hits. And so far 4 runs in the first.
Talked about Eduardo Escobar and how he looked like he was starting to heat up after watching his average slip a little bit down from 300 to the 250 level. But the last 3 or 4 games, Eduardo Escobar has been a really, really tough out. A home run, a few doubles, and a big, big hit. This had all the makings of a big inning until the Twins kind of ran themselves out of it, it would appear. But the hitters have delivered with 3 doubles and a single after the base running mistake.
Anderson's only retired 1 batter, and it was the guy who'd been the main run producer on this road trip for the Twins, Kendrys Morales. Here's Sam Fuld. Up and away, ball 1. And if Fuld reaches, Phil Hughes will have a chance to hit before he throws a pitch.
Always a good thing.
And a strike. Up high. By the way, I'm going to make a call. Phil Hughes is going to hit a home run. Not necessarily in his first at bat, but the Twins remain one of the few teams not to have a pitcher hit a home run in interleague play. Pulled to the right side through. Escobar around third. He's coming in. And the Twins just keep on piling up hits and runs against Brett Anderson.
Just one really, really good at bat after another for the Twins. And here Sam Fuld also against lefty on lefty and continues his hot hitting. Carlos Gomez with a strong arm and a strong throw, but can't get Escobar from second with 2 out. Got a good jump, and you're right, Dick. Here we are, Phil Hughes swinging the bat before he throws to anybody else. Pretty cool.
Puts the first ball in play, and that ends a bat around first inning. The Twins get 7 hits and 5 runs in the first inning. Early run support for Phil Hughes. Struck him out with a breaking ball. Struck him out. What an afternoon for Phil Hughes. And it's been already quite an afternoon for Phil Hughes. He's got a 5-0 lead before he throws his first pitch. Take a look at Walt Weiss's batting order as they try to cover up an early hole. Brought to you by Menards. It's Charlie Blackmon, who had a great day at the plate yesterday, going to Minnesota and playing for the All-Star game, for the All-Star team in the National League. Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, Justin Morneau, Nolan Arenado, Corey Dickerson, Willeen Rosario, DJ LeMahieu, and Brett Anderson.
And Phil Hughes on the mound, as I mentioned before the game, in our open of the show. What would the Twins have been without what Phil Hughes has done? After 2 relatively mediocre starts to start the season, he has been absolutely terrific since. Even in the games that got away from him, he has pitched deep into games and kept the Twins in the game almost every start.
Charlie Blackmon, Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki. And the first pitch up and away. Blackmon, as you saw, 5 singles in the ball game yesterday. Some hit well, some not so well. All of them went right up the middle. And a strike, 1-1. Foul back, 1-2. Even in this ballpark, you have to pitch to your strength, and one of Phil Hughes' strengths is a high fastball. Now, ordinarily, I would suspect most pitchers would not survive very well here in the elevation with a high fastball, but we'll see how Hughes fares here this afternoon. Off the outside corner, 2-2.
One thing that Phil has going for him in terms of that high fastball that he'll throw occasionally is that it has nice late life. It's a little sneaky. Most hitters have trouble catching up with it.
That's what we've seen from Hughes against left-handed batters. He threw a fastball off the plate, then that cutter, that backdoor cutter to a left-handed batter that's just been devastating. 1 down. Let's check out the Twins in the field. Willingham, Full, Parmalee across the outfield. Bloof, Escobar, Dozier, Morales, the infielders, and Kurt Suzuki back behind the plate again. Since we're almost at the All-Star break, and since the Twins had a bat around first inning and the pitcher had to bat in the first, in the 1992 All-Star game, Tom Kelly was the manager because, of course, the Twins won the World Series in 1991. Ball flipped foul, 1 strike. And the exact same thing happened to Tom Kelly managing the American League team, the visiting team at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. And as the inning progressed, with the American League putting up a big number in the first inning, you had the dilemma of whether Kevin Brown should hit or not. Now, the guy was named the American League starter, so of course he had to start, but Kevin Brown hadn't swung a bat in years. Pitching then, I believe, for the Orioles. And so Tom had to send Kevin Brown up there, who probably the last thing on his mind as he reported for duty in the All-Star game as a pitcher for the American League is that I might have to actually swing the bat. This one flipped to deep left center field, and it's off the warning track, then off the fence. And Carlos Gonzalez has an opposite field double. And it's a 1-out double for Gonzalez in the first inning.
Strong young man, really, really good hitter. I think I called him Carlos Gomez for Twins fans, obvious reasons, in the top of the first. But Carlos Gonzalez, a terrific hitter, a lot of life in that bat. Not a bad pitch by Phil Hughes, and he reached out and flipped it off the left center field fence.
Roy, that was a half swing, and he hit it 390 feet to the opposite field. Here's Troy Tulowitzki. And a belt high strike.
Well, as we talked with Justin Morneau and Michael Kadire, they said, this isn't about how much the ball carries and that it's a home run hitter's ballpark. It's how big it is and how much room there is between and in front of outfielders. And I will accept that because I like those two guys and I trust them and all of that. But it carries pretty well, too. we've seen a couple of balls hit that were hit decent, but no idea that they would get to where they got to on the field. And in Tulowitzki's case, the first game out of the ballpark.
Suzuki staggered by that foul tip off the mask. Ouch. 2 strikes to Tulowitzki. Center cut right off, right between the eyes. 2 strikes to Tulowitzki. Fouled away. I suppose you could make a case that catchers who catch 5-6 times a week are almost always the most valuable players on their team. Alex Avila is hitting, what, 220. He's still one of the most valuable Tigers because he puts the gear on and goes back there just about every day. Kansas City, where would they be? They're marginally above 500 as it is, but where would they be without Salvador Perez? Up and away, 1-2.
Well, you're absolutely right, Dick. It's arguably the most important position on the field, especially when you have a real good one back there like Kurt Suzuki, who goes out there every day that he's penciled in the lineup at least 5 or 6 times a week. Tough guy, plays through pain, keeps bouncing back, works the pitching staff beautifully. You get a guy like that, and you almost can't overstate how important it is.
Poke to center and fold with the catch out number 2. That's pretty much the same type of pitch that Hughes threw Gonzalez. It's just Gonzalez flicked it into the gap and Tulowitzki chipped it to short center, 2 down. It'll bring up Justin Morneau. Won't be much of an all-star break for Justin Morneau, but it will be a memorable one. Tomorrow night he'll be introduced as part of the National League squad in the home run hitting derby. And he will have a chance literally to tip his cap to Twins fans as they will pay him tribute for everything he meant to the region. I mean, and I mean that sincerely, the region. All the off-season charity work that he did that apart from his baseball career made him an awfully important figure in the upper Midwest. 1-0. And a swing and a miss. In the top 10 in hitting, in runs batted in, just off the chart in slugging percentage. Rockies signed him to a 2-year deal. 1-1 from Hughes to Morneau. Fastball, and again it's 1-2.
And I'm just so happy for Justin that he landed here in Colorado and began his resurgence. He really had that coming to him after playing in Target Field, which is a tougher place to hit than it is here, and going through the injuries that he did. He had something this positive really coming to him, in my opinion.
Off the plate. Like he tried to deliver that cutter on the outside corner. 2-2.
Think about the way we had seen Justin hit for the Twins at the Metrodome, for example, lining the ball all over the field. Doing that here would be a very, very positive thing, and yet the ball will also go out of here to right center for him.
And Morneau, foul tip. Suzuki can't quite hang on. Bat's still alive.
Almost no negative for Justin the way he hitting in this ballpark. He can spray the ball around the field with doubles power, and he can hit the ball to his pull field with right center and to the right field line with home run power. And all of those things very, very conducive to his hitting style here at this ballpark.
Another 2-2. That's sliced down the line, foul. And you tend to forget, as important as he was to the Twins by being in the lineup, how important he was to the Twins when he was not in the lineup. The last 2 playoff rounds the Twins had in 2009 and 2010. Justin unable to play. Stress fracture in his back 1 year, the concussion issue the next. And for those reasons in part, or that reason in part, the Twins unable to advance past the Yankees those last 2 years. 2-2. And another foul. Kind of been the mark for the Twins over the last 4 years of the playoffs. 3 losses to the Yankees, 1 to the A's. Players that weren't in the lineup, guys like Bauer and Morneau, Liriano. Another foul. He was having a tough time putting Morneau away, trying to pitch around a 1-out double by Gonzalez.
We think about the concussion issues that Justin had, but I'm looking at these foul balls on 93, 94 mile-an-hour high fastballs, and I think about the neck and shoulder and wrist injuries they never really talked about. I've never seen him be able to foul off those pitches as well as he's doing right here against, I shouldn't say never, in the 3 years after battling back from the concussion. People didn't know much about how hurt he was, but he could not have that quick wristy swing to spoil a high fastball strike like he's had against Hughes here. First time we've seen that in 4 or 5 years.
3-2, and Hughes and Suzuki have a short chat about this pitch. And it's been such an effective pitch for Hughes. He hasn't been able to deliver that cutter on the outside corner in the Morneau at bat. He did in the Blackman at bat. And there it was, and it's flipped to left, and Willingham smothers it. A run will score. Morneau, a pesky at bat. He never did hit the ball hard, but he ended up flipping a base hit to left to drive in Gonzalez. Hughes has given up a couple of hits on a couple of really good pitches.
Yes, he has, and Justin didn't hit this one very well. The best thing about this at bat was the battle, and then he gets a Coors Field single. Willingham having to play so deep in this ballpark, he just couldn't get to that little flip, pop, fly base hit. Landed in front of him.
Rockies get at least one back in their half of the first. Here's Arenado. Strike called. We really have seen it in play throughout this 3-game series. Not so much the home run distance or the home run hitting that this park was known for before they put the baseballs in the humidor. But you have the outfielders set back deeply to try to cut off gappers, and yet we've still seen gappers. Well, we're in the first inning here. We've had 4 doubles to the outfield gaps.
Right.
There might be another one. We're going to have a lot of runs scored today, folks. Morneau around third, and he's going to come home on a double, and it's 5-2. Now the Rockies get a couple of 2-out hits to get a couple of runs.
Ball right down the middle, up and down the middle pretty much from Phil Hughes, and Arenado put a charge in it again all the way to the left center field wall. I was talking with Danny Gladden early before the game today, and he had an interesting observation. He said, you know, if I were playing here, I'd want to pinch the outfielders into the gaps and just give up the down the line doubles and cut off the balls as many as you can in the gaps. Clearly, just playing deep hasn't worked, and I think it's an interesting observation on Danny's part.
Strike one. Well, this is the carnage we've had already in the ball game. 4 batters have been retired, one of them a pitcher. We've had a total of 7 runs scored, 10 hits, and 5 doubles. Obviously still in the first inning. Swing and a foul, 2 strikes. .28 pitches for Hughes in the first inning. 21 strikes.
Well, he is going to throw the ball over. We know that. The ball's going to be in the strike zone, and that's a good thing. He's not going to walk anybody. That's a good thing. That on the Rockies side, they're up there hacking. This is a good hitting ball club, and after being held down yesterday, you would think that the odds were they were going to swing it pretty well today.
I haven't seen many, if any, curveballs. It's pretty much been.
He threw the one to Tulowitzki on that when Tulowitzki flew out.
Oh, hit the one to a center field.
Yeah,
full
that
cut,
was.
yeah.
Yep, that was a real good curveball to get Tulo there. And the one thing that I've seen with Phil Hughes, that I'd like to see him go to that breaking ball a little bit more. He's so good with a fastball and cutter, but when hitters start catching up, you got to recognize that as soon as you can.
Fold over in the gap will end the inning. Interesting first inning with 7 runs on the board, 5 of them going to the Twins. The second inning. Time to take a look at our timeless moment, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors. On this date in 1993 in Baltimore, Kirby Puckett would win All-Star MVP honors. He had a home run and a double in a 9-3 American League victory at the All-Star game at Camden Yards. He hit the home run against Terry Mulholland. And a drive to center field. And then later a double. Kirby, the MVP of the All-Star game. Another win for the American League. And now breaking ball down and in to Brian Dozier. Happened to be at that game in Baltimore. It was a big thrill for Kirby to be the MVP of the All-Star game. Dozier doubled to right center field and then was involved in a double play 2 at-bats later. Nevertheless, the Twins scored 5 runs. Down low, and it's 2-1.
Chances are this is going to be a high-scoring game today. Heading into the All-Star break, guys are swinging the bats pretty well. Twins got just get it going again. Buckle them up and try to have the same kind of at-bats through the lineup this second time around they did the first time.
And Anderson faced 9 men, gave up 7 hits. And Dozier with a liner caught by Arenado. Made another bid for an extra base hit. This one picked off by the third baseman. It's been a pretty notable day in All-Star history. Pedro Martinez struck out the first 4 batters he faced in 1999. The 1982 All-Star game was Kent Herbeck's lone appearance in Montreal. course, in '65 at Metropolitan Stadium, Harmon Killebrew hit a 2-run home run to give the American League the lead, but then the National League came back. One down here in the second inning, and Kurt Suzuki will hit. Suzuki simply tried to put the ball in play, trying to push it to the right side, and he hit a little bouncer between the mound and first base and ended up getting an infield hit. 1-0. And a strike. Last year, the Twins went into the All-Star break winning just 3 of their last 15 games. And a much better road trip here in advance of the game. Suzuki lifts it high to left. And Dickerson, short of the track, makes a catch out number 2. Target Field suites are available for single game rental for groups of 16 to 96. You can choose from the intimate Premier Suites, the flexible Event Suites, or the spacious Skyline Suites at Target Field. Food and beverage included in every purchase. You can call 800-33-TWINS or go to twinsbaseball.com/groups to get more info. The way things have gone for the Twins, it seemed very unlikely that the Twins would get 7 hits and 5 runs in the first inning, and Kendrys Morales would not get a hit in that inning. That's exactly what happened. Now that one squirted over the bag, and Morales is going to round first and get the oddest double of his career. All these line drives to the gap, and Morales hit a squibber over the first base bag for a double.
This has got to drive a pitcher crazy right here. He gets way deep in the kitchen of Kendrys Morales. And that ball somehow got by Justin Morneau, going about 3 miles an hour, and spun it. Gardy says, "You know, that's the way I used to hit them, but they didn't. But they went right at people."
Here's Plouffe, cracked a double, scored a run last inning. Checked his swing and took ball 1.
And the only reason I say that is because I've had lots and lots of hitting conversations with Ron Gardenhire where he will not fail to be self-deprecating about his hitting prowess.
On this road trip that has already been established as a winning road trip for the Twins, they have 2 home runs from Sam Fuld and Eduardo Escobar. 2-0 to Plouffe. 3-0, Parmalee on deck.
You know, the good news is, on top of home runs by the little guys, the good news is that everybody else in the lineup on this road trip, the rest of the lineup have been hitting a lot of doubles.
Right.
And hitting with guys on base. They've been more efficient so far than their opponents getting runs in for the most part.
Sharply hit on the ground, bobbled by Tulowitzki, and he comes up firing to end the inning. Another double, but no damage done. It's still 5-2.
For the second, it's been a great road trip for Minnesota, specifically for Brian Dozier, just like he's been all season long. Brilliant in the field yesterday before it was a rout. A game-changing play coming home, the perfect throw, the out at the plate, changed the momentum of that baseball game. Ron Gardner and I talked earlier today about how nice it is to see a player develop the way Dozier has. We're now have to tell him what to do. He's like an extra coach out there. He sees the play before it happens, knows where to go, and as Roy Smalley knows from his years in this league, to play defense in the middle of the infield like that, save your pitcher's runs consistently, you can't put a price tag on that.
Well, thank you, Kevin. First pitch to Willeen Rosario, over for a strike. It'll be Rosario, LeMahieu, and Anderson. I think one of the reasons Dozier was able to make that play is because it's the type of play he would have wanted to make as a base runner. You know, we've seen improved base running from a lot of the Twins, specifically Dozier. Bouncer in the hole, and it'll be a base hit. Not today necessarily, but Dozier, as we said yesterday, his value to the team is he's somebody who could beat you with his bat, but also in the field with his glove and arm.
Well, there's no question that all season long he has had major impact on ball games, day in, day out, with his glove. Teams want to be strong up the middle for obvious reasons. Most of the plays go up the middle through the shortstop, second baseman, and center fielder. Not everybody has the ability to make not only the steady plays, but the impact, to impact the game, to change, as Kevin just said, and we've been talking about that play he made yesterday, to change the whole complexion of the game, the whole momentum of the game with his glove. I don't think there's anybody playing a better second base in baseball right now than Brian Dozier.
One strike to the Rockies second baseman, and LeMahieu drives a base hit. And here come the Rockies with another ball hit to the gap, and a pair of hits to start the second inning. It's a double for LeMahieu, and nobody out in the second inning.
And one thing we're starting to see here is an awful lot of balls right in the middle of the strike zone from Phil Hughes. Not quite the same command that he has oftentimes, where he's around the perimeter of the zone with fastballs and cutters in particular.
Brett Anderson, the pitcher, is going to attempt to perhaps bunt. Twins are bringing the corner infielders in here. Prior to this year, Anderson pitched exclusively in the American League, 1 for 5 with a double and 3 strikeouts on the season. Outside, ball 1. That's a bunt up the line, and it'll roll foul. 1-1. In essence, what you're dealing with here looks like a safety squeeze, right?
That's exactly right, and they are taking the bat out of the pitcher's hand and saying, look, we don't think you can drive it in swinging, but try to make as good a bunt as possible, and if our third base runner runs the play right, reads it well, he might be able to beat one of the Twins' corner infielders to the plate with the ball. And
1-1. And there's a bunt, and it's a good one. A run scores. It's 5-3. Anderson put it on the ground, got a run in, with Rosario coming in from third base.
Well, that's an excellent bunt. That's not just a safety squeeze. That would have been a great bunt for a hit by most speedy guys. He got it by the pitcher, and once he did that, it was a walk in the park for the third base runner.
Runner at third, 1 down, and Blackman, who was called out on strikes to start the ball game. 5 hits yesterday, and it's so far the only strikeout of the day for Phil Hughes. To center. And we got a one-run ball game. Fold with the catch. And LeMahieu will score. And it's 5-4. A sacrifice bunt, a sacrifice fly. Base is empty, and it's 5-4.
Again, a fastball in the middle of the plate from Phil Hughes. And if I had one suggestion to make, I alluded to a moment ago, when Phil has gotten in trouble, it's when he hasn't realized that the hitters are catching up, are starting to catch up with a fastball and cutter speed, and not gone to enough slower breaking balls to get him off that speed. I think he's going to have to do that.
Big swing and a miss. Gonzalez tried to tie it up. One of the things you hear, and of course we've just been here twice, but because of the elevation, the theory goes that a curveball isn't as sharp and doesn't have as big a break. And curveball's still a big weapon for Phil Hughes. Otherwise, everything's essentially the same speed.
Well, exactly. And the cutter, when it's not right on the corner, they're just 3 or 4 miles an hour or 5 miles an hour slower, just has the effect of speeding up the hitter's bat a little bit if it's right in the middle. And if they were going to be late on the fastball, they'd be right on the cutter speed. So you really do need a slower speed. We're told here that not only the elevation, but also the lack of humidity hurts the breaking ball.
Liner to Dozier, and that ends the inning, and we got a ball game. The Twins giving Phil Hughes an early 5-run lead, but now it's down to 5-4. You're watching the Twins and Rockies, brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200. Starting lineup on Waldo Arcia was, but our Sanford Health injury report describing what happened to Arcia. Flu-like symptoms overnight. A couple of hits yesterday. Parmalee got a big hit, so at least in the starting lineup, a change made. And Parmalee taking advantage of it with a 2-run single in the first.
Ron Gardner has always liked how Chris Parmalee battles left-handed pitching. He's hitting very well against left-handers this year. And
bouncer to first.
Had a great at-bat to drive in a couple of runs in the first inning.
Looked like that first inning would slip through the Twins' fingers. They had plenty of hits, a couple of doubles and a single, but the odd double play looked like it was going to take them out of the inning. Parmalee with a 2-run single, Willingham single, Escobar a 2-run double, Fold a 2-out single. All 5 runs scored with 2 outs in the first inning. Willingham pulled a single through the hole to left. Down and away, ball 1. One and one. Cleveland beat Chicago 3-2. So if the Twins were to win here today, they'd pull into a virtual tie with the White Sox at the break. And strike 2 taken by Willingham. Pulled through the hole or to the hole, cut off by Arenado. 2 down. And that'll bring up Escobar. Time now for you to tweet a photo using hashtag NorthFanPhoto and a chance to have it shown in an upcoming Twins broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Starting with the final out of the first inning by Phil Hughes. Now Anderson has retired 6 of the last 7 batters. And the exception to that, the cue ball double off the bat of Kendrys Morales. Escobar drove a 2-run double to right center field, taking strike 1 here in the 3rd. And now a ball.
Morales double, cue ball double with the wrong end of the pool stick.
Another hit for Escobar. I'm going to bet you, Roy, this game does not end 5-4.
No, I guess I'm not going to take that bet. I think it's going to be more that each team will have to double the score they have right now. We'll probably double the score at least.
Pretty safe bet that one or both teams are going to end up with double digits in runs.
I think so.
Here's Sam Fuld, pulled an RBI single to right his first time up.
The Twins are going to have to keep grinding really good at bats like Escobar just had right there. They're going to see a lot of that big slow curveball from Brett Anderson now after hitting a lot of fastballs early. That's a pitch right there that I really believe a lot of guys would do very well just to go up and look for it. This is the one I think he's going to try to get guys out on most of the time here for a little while.
Taken for ball 1. And now fastball, ball 2.
Little cutter there from Brett Anderson, 90 miles an hour. He's got 2 fastballs, it looks like. He tried to run that cutter away from Sam Fuld.
Over the inside corner, 2-1. Fuld's average keeps climbing. And in fact, as you suggested before, this will be, even though the road trip started with a pair of 2-0 ball games, this should be a pretty good road trip for the batting averages for most of the Twins hitters. 3-1. Phil Hughes on deck.
I was talking to Ron Gardenhire before the game today, and I mentioned to him, I said, you haven't had a healthy lineup yet this year. You've not had a healthy lineup and everybody hitting all at the same time. Which is a streak that I just can't believe that they won't get into at some point in time during the year. They haven't had it yet. It would seem to me like at some point in time in the second half, you're going to get an awful lot of offense out of this group. And I think this road trip we're starting to see what can happen, and they're still without Santana and Mauer.
And Fuld takes a walk, and that'll get Hughes to the plate with 2 men aboard. Hughes made the final out of the first inning. He put the ball in play, hitting a chopper to the second baseman. 0 for 10 as a big leaguer with 4 strikeouts. But in the boldest call of my 31 years as a Twins broadcaster, I have him hitting a home run. Today.
Yeah. Boldest or most misguided? It will.
Well, I didn't say that. Probably both. But you have to admit it is bold.
It's bold.
Strike 1. He's got a series of 2-out hits to score 5 runs in the first. Hughes hoping to get one here. Yesterday, Kevin Correa drove in a run with a double. Quickly it goes to 0-2. Anderson drove in a run with a bunt in the bottom of the second. Now Hughes trying to drive one in with a hit. Swing and a miss. And the Twins strand 2 in the third. Link, your link to what's next. By Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealers today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. First 5 runs went to the Twins. Next 4 have gone to the Rockies. Phil Hughes hoping for a nice, clean, quick bottom of the third. Troy Tulowitzki, Justin Morneau, and Nolan Arenado will hit against him in the third. Looked for all the world like Hughes was going to get out of the first inning without allowing any runs. But Morneau had a wonderful at bat, a 10-pitch at bat. Finished with a flare single that drove in a run. The Rockies' series of hits and doubles and productive outs have gotten back to within 1. 1 strike to Tulowitzki. Oh, 2. Base hit. Twins shifting Tulowitzki around to the pull side. And a sharp single on a 2-strike pitch. And the leadoff man is on again here in the third. Let's go back to 2008. Justin Morneau. An entrant in the home run derby at Yankee Stadium. Josh Hamilton put on a show in the first round. And Justin, to the surprise of many now, the winner of the home run derby.
And it surprised everybody that night after that show that Josh Hamilton put on. But Justin had a terrific derby.
Dozier, nice play, and the ball dropped. They're going to call the out at second base on the transfer rule on a tailor-made double play grounder. But the Twins only get 1. Morneau reaching on a fielder's choice. You could see Escobar had withdrawn the ball from his glove and bobbled it in the bare hand.
Justin hits a 2-hopper to Dozier, makes a nice flip, and then as you see, it was just a question of not getting the grip on the ball. The ball went into Eduardo's hand fine, and then as he started to throw it, it slipped out.
Well, the Twins should have turned 2. They only got 1, and now here's Arenado. An RBI double in the first inning. Swinging a foul, 1 strike. Because Justin's now in the National League, of course, the potential exists for Brian Dozier to be facing his former teammate in the home run derby. I think most people put their money on the Giancarlo Stantons of the world in the National League, but base hit over the head of a reaching Dozier. And Morneau trying for third. He'll reach, and the tying run 90 feet away with one out. The inability to get that double play turn as the Rockies close to tying this game up.
One of the rare times that the Twins have not made a double play when it presented itself. And again, the ball's up and in the middle of the strike zone. Arenado didn't hit it well, actually inside out of the ball, and just muscled it over Brian Dozier's head. Again, Justin Morneau not with the greatest first to third speed, but the outfielder's playing so deep, it's almost automatic.
Here's Corey Dickerson. Fly ball to center to end the first inning. A similar fly ball here might tie the game. Hughes needs to try to get the ball down around the knees, maybe get another ground ball double play opportunity. This one left belt high and it's fouled back. Has to be frustrating if you're a pitcher. Now Hughes can succeed up there, but not if he throws it up there all the time.
Right. And that's what he's been so good at all season long. It hasn't been up there all the time. It's up there effectively, but then it's on the inside corner and it's on the outside corner and it's at the knee level. He's been all around the perimeter of the strike zone so that when he does happen to throw one in the middle, it takes hitters by a little bit more surprise. Today he's been in the middle and high middle most of the early game here.
Suzuki set up down and inside and had to make a nice catch to keep it from going to the backstop. 1-1.
You can imagine yourself as a hitter and you step in the batter's box and you're looking for a ball right in the middle of the plate and you just keep getting it and you get in kind of a rhythm and a tunnel vision about that, as opposed to the way Hughes is. Oftentimes when you step in there, you're looking for the ball in the middle and cutters on the outside, a fastball's in, it's up, it's down, all in the strike zone, and you don't get in the same rhythm at all.
Little short fly to left. And Willingham setting up for a throw. Morneau just bluffing. And so too the runner at first. So a short fly ball that's caught, because a lot of them have landed in this series. Out number 2. And it'll be up to Willeen Rosario. Twin season ticket holders enjoy 10% off concessions and merchandise at Target Field all season long. 2014 season tickets remain available for a fun summer and early fall of baseball at Target Field. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com and find out how you can still join the Twins season ticket family. First and third, 2 down, and now Rosario, who singled and scored in the second inning. Strike one. Hughes, a strikeout pitcher, struck out 8 Mariners earlier on this road trip, and now he gets ahead 0-2.
Nice breaking ball there. Real good spot, started on the corner. Rosario thinking fastball or cutter, not thinking about that breaking ball that's a little slower and has a really nice tilt, downward tilt. That's what Phil wants on that breaking ball, have it go down and away. That was a good one.
Half swing and a nice smother job by Suzuki.
Well, once again, we just see it all the time. His ability to bounce out there on breaking balls away from hitters and keep the ball in front of him. Just so mechanically, fundamentally sound back there behind the plate. One of his great attributes, in addition to understanding what a pitcher's stuff is and having a good plan to go against hitters.
Breaking ball, got him. And a strikeout strands Morneau at third. The Twins still have a 1-run lead. All on Fox Sports North is presented by the all-new Chrysler 200 with available all-wheel drive, America's import. Dick Bramer and Roy Smalley, Kevin Gorg as well, bringing you Twins baseball from Denver, while Bert Lylevin is managing the all-world team in the Futures game at Target Field. Great weather and improving weather forecast for tomorrow and Tuesday. Looks like shouldn't have any interruptions. At least that's the hope through All-Star festivities today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. Ball one to Brian Dozier. Dozier with a double to right center field, and then a liner picked off by Arenado. 1-1. One and two. And Anderson settling down after. Could you have a rockier start than the one he had? My goodness. 7 hits, 5 runs, and frankly, the Twins should have scored more in that first inning. High fastball got him. 1 down. That'll bring up Suzuki. Tuesday, of course, it's the big game, the All-Star game at Target Field. An emotional and unforgettable night. Derek Jeter's last All-Star game. Special coverage beginning at 3:30 on Fox Sports 1, followed by the 2014 All-Star game at 6:30 on Fox. Kurt Suzuki with a single and a fly ball to left. Now to center. Blackman over a few steps, 2 down. And that'll bring up Morales. And cue up our carsoup.com trivia question: who has the most career All-Star game home runs? Remembering that for a while in the 50s into the early 60s, there were 2 All-Star games. So if you wanted to guess Mickey Mantle, that'd be a good guess, I would think.
Yeah, I think Willie probably a pretty good guess. Willie Mays.
Yeah. Here's Morales. Strike 1. Morales reached on a fielder's choice. He hit the ground ball to Arenado that turned into the curious double play, and then hit one off the end of his bat between Morneau and the first base bag, and it just kind of squirted into the warning track in foul territory for a double. 1-1.
Did he get it off the end? I thought he
got
maybe
jammed. Got off the handle.
Yeah, that's what, I'm not sure. It was one of the weirdest looking hits I've ever seen. It almost looked like it was in slow motion. The whole play.
2-1 to Morales. Twins would dearly love to get the next run of this game. Bouncer to short. Tulowitzki has time. Accurate throw. And a 1-2-3 4th inning. Stay tuned for this important message from Mesh Besher and Spence.
Yeah, the Twins with some fireworks early. Brian Dozier with a double, Trevor Plouffe with a double, Chris Parmelee with a big 2 RBI single, Josh Willingham would single, and then Eduardo Escobar would double in a couple, and then Sam Fulton knocked him in. The Rockies would come right back with 2 in the bottom half of the first for themselves, and then 2 more in the bottom of the second, including this beautiful safety squeeze bunt by the pitcher, and we're at 5-4 here. So we head to the bottom of the fourth.
Number 8 batter DJ LeMahieu doubled and scored in the second. He will lead off for fourth. And Brett Anderson will hit, and Charlie Blackmon will follow him. He was hoping for the type of inning that Anderson had in the top of the fourth, a 1-2-3 inning. 2 strikes. Rockies had a great chance to get the game tied up in the third. Couple of hits, a missed double play opportunity by the Twins, but a missed sacrifice fly opportunity by Dickerson. And so Hughes still has a 1-run lead. One and two. While the Twins are playing the Rockies, the Indians have finished their series with the White Sox, winning 3-2. And the Royals are finished with their series with Detroit, beating Detroit 5-2, getting 5 runs, 4 of them in the 7th inning against Justin Verlander, a 5-run 7th. And it brings to mind a really curious stat, and I think it's good news for the Twins. The Twins have played the fewest divisional games in the major leagues. Of the 30 teams, the Twins have played the fewest games within their division. Another 1-2 pitch to LeMahieu, and a ball squirted down the right field line foul. Twins have only played 31 games within their division. By contrast, a team like Pittsburgh has played 51 games within their National League Central opposition. And so you look forward to the second half, and you hope that your team is playing better baseball in the second half than the first, and then you look at all the games stacked against Cleveland and Chicago and Detroit and Kansas City, and you think, well, this team could climb the standings rather easily if they play good baseball.
Exactly right. I think that's a great point. It also speaks to how difficult the schedule was for the Twins the first half of the season, especially with travel.
Sliced foul.
They were on the road a lot and not in close by geographies.
Yes.
I mean, they were all over the country in this first half of the season, and to your first point about if they can start playing good baseball, and I think there are things that point to that. Starting pitching starting to come around a little bit, and they have not had that good offensive run yet. If they put together an offensive run by the lineup, as Phil Hughes makes a real good pitch on LeMahieu, it strikes him out. But if they're able to put together a good offensive run, and they're playing inside their division all those games. As we look at this again, a little cutter that is kind of what they call a front door cutter. They throws it inside and it comes back on the inside corner there to get LeMahieu. I just believe that there has to be one real good offensive run by this lineup, and if it happens when they're playing in their own division, then a lot of good things can happen.
Best stretch of games for the Twins this year so far, an 8-3 stretch in the middle of May, and those 8 wins were by a total margin of 11 runs. So they were close ball games. The Twins just happened to win almost all of them. 1-1 to Brett Anderson. A bunt drove in a run to continue the Rocky comeback. Now 2-1. And if that good stretch of baseball occurred right after the All-Star break during that 10-game homestand, all the better. Woo!
Absolutely. It'd be fun to have a 10-game homestand where Twins fans were excited about their ball club, came out, supported a real good winning streak.
3 straight strikeouts now for Phil Hughes. All-Star Fan Fest continues tomorrow at the Minneapolis Convention Center. And a look at the schedule of events at the Fox Sports North booth. It begins at 9 in the morning. You can record a free sports update, photo ops, and more. And All-Star Live begins at 9 in the morning. Fox Sports North girls from all around the country. Really happy to see the forecast improve. Still a bit of a chance of rain, but cooler than normal temperatures. But don't think people will mind or remember that. Having the All-Star game rained out, they would remember that. Fox Tracks presented by Chrysler. And 1 strike to Charlie Blackmon. Both pitchers, perhaps, in the early stages of settling down. We've seen it from Anderson, and the Twins are hoping that Hughes can limit the number of hits now. He struck out Blackmon in the first. Blackmon hit a sacrifice fly to drive in the 4th Colorado run in the 2nd inning. Nice knockdown, no pickup by Escobar, and it'll be a hit. A line smash, and Escobar looked like he was going to be able to gather it in and have a play, but instead it's another hit.
Real nice at bat here by Blackmon. That's nice hit. Slashed the ball to the opposite field. Too hot for Escobar to handle. That would have been a terrific play if he'd been able to keep that ball in his glove. The more I see Blackmon, the more I'm impressed with his ability to swing the bat. Hits the ball all over the ballpark. Gets his bat on the ball a lot.
5 singles yesterday. His first hit today, and now Carlos Gonzalez.
You see how close that is. He hits it hard, and it's close to Escobar. Kind of an in-between hop. Hit very, very hard, and most infielders will do just what Eduardo did, kind of give ground with it, lean backwards, fall backwards, try to give themselves a little more time and get a little bit longer hop into their glove. He just wasn't quite able to wrap it up.
Swing and a miss. Blackmon 17 for 21 in stolen base attempts. When you have a ballpark that yields so many doubles, I would imagine it does impact your thinking. If you're a manager, do you want to send this guy, or in the event of a double, he's going to score from first probably anyway. 1-1. Hughes has had 5 stolen base attempts against him and 4 successful. Gonzalez double, just flicked his bat at a pitch down and away and drove it all the way to the gap, 390 feet from home plate. 2-1. See the pitch count for Hughes, 57 pitches for strikes. 8 hits allowed. The Twins have 9. Runner takes off, swing and a miss, and had Hughes stepped off, they would have had Blackmon between first and second. But it'll be a stolen base, and now the tying run in scoring position.
We see it here. Blackmon tries to time the move and is a little bit early, but Phil had already shifted his concentration to the plate, and even though he's holding the ball, he had no idea where the runner was. Blackmon walks into second base.
2-2. Last 3 outs Hughes has gotten have been via strikeout. And another one if Suzuki can throw him out at first. Got him on a close play. And important to note that Blackmon rounded third and came home. And this game is going to get, or this play is going to be looked at, and if it is overturned, the Rockies have just tied the game. Suzuki's throw appeared to get the runner at first, and that's the call made by Chris Guccione. But base runners now have the added responsibility of continuing the play beyond the third out, and that's what happened. Oh, that's close.
It is close.
That is very close, and they're going to take a look at it. Slowing it down, different angles, he's out. The ball hit the back of the glove right before his foot hit the bag. I think.
Well, I don't. In my opinion,
his foot is still up right there.
I think so. And in my opinion, they don't have enough evidence to overturn it. It was called out.
Yeah, he's out.
I think so.
The Rockies have used their challenge, and on a very close play, it looks like the call will stand. But the difference is a full run or more. If the call is overturned, the tying run will score and the inning will continue. That's a heck of a throw by Suzuki. And they call out. And the inning has ended. And the Twins, through 4, still have a 1-run lead. Inning, Trevor Plouffe delivered a double in that inning, scored a run, and he takes strike 1 from Brett Anderson. Plouffe, Parmelee, and Willingham, 4, 5, and 6 batters.
That curveball that we just saw from Brett Anderson, he's used that a lot on first ball pitches.
Hit high and deep to center, tracking it as Blackmon, still going back. That's over his head and off the wall. It's another double. No, it's not. It's a triple for Trevor Plouffe. The ball hits Plouffe and goes into the dugout, and he'll come all the way in. A ball that just kept on carrying to straightaway center field. Plouffe dug for third, and it looked like the ball hit him in the shoulder and skipped into the camera well.
A real good swing here by Trevor. Hits the ball very, very well to right center, but you're right, Dick. This ball just would not come down. Blackmon just going back and going back. Thought he had a beat on it, just kept going.
Parmelee pops it up. And he's gone on one pitch with Arenado making the catch.
Here's the relay throw coming to third. Stand-up slide, hits off this forearm. It's a nice deflection into the goal there.
Well, the Twins lead 6-4, and here's Josh Willingham. Single and a run scored, and a ground ball to third. We've had so many doubles in this 3-game series. Now we finally have a triple. Outside and low, 1-1. inside, almost hit him. No swing. Even with Kansas City beating Detroit, still a 6.5 game lead in the American League Central, by far the biggest margin between first and second place in the 6 divisional races. 2-1. 2-2.
Boy, the Rockies are playing Josh Willingham in a very different way in the outfield.
Yes, they are.
The center fielder swung around toward right center. The left fielder way off the line and left. That doesn't make an awful lot of sense to me, having watched Josh, especially lately. It looked like he's been pull conscious, and that either means that they've got different reports than most teams, or they're going to pitch him a lot differently than most teams.
They just walked him, and then we'll get Escobar to the plate. So many Twins fans here. It was a delight for you and I think, to walk back to the hotel, and it just seemed like most of the people in the street around the ballpark were Twins fans. And so our Pepsi fans of the game, the ones we show you, and I would guess thousands of others that are here this weekend for Twins baseball.
We walked back to the hotel with a lot of them. It was fun to talk with everybody. Very enthusiastic Twins fans. Had a great weekend here.
Escobar takes ball 1. Escobar with a pair of hits, including a 2-run double in the first inning. As Ron Gardner hired today about Danny Santana. The hope is, out of the break, he'll be on the active roster. And I asked how Santana would be used, and essentially was told that pretty much the same way he was used in the first half of the year. There was some thought that maybe the Twins would just let Santana play it out at short, but Escobar's played so well there, and now he's starting to hit again. The Twins need somebody to give Sam Fuld a break in center field.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing on Ron Gardenhire's mind, is he's pretty convinced that he can get an awful lot of productivity out of Sam Fuld if he doesn't overwork him. And he feels like he's seen a little bit of that overwork so far this season. So I imagine Santana will play a lot, maybe most at shortstop, and then give Sam Fuld some breathers periodically.
2-2 to Escobar.
I've been very, very impressed with Danny Santana's mental makeup, his ability to play a position in center field that he's never played before, really, and play it at the major league level as he learns it, then go back to shortstop and do fine there, then go back out to center.
Rolled foul between Joe Vavra and the line.
That kind of position moving around is generally reserved for veteran players, veteran utility players that kind of know how to get themselves prepared to play different places when they're asked to. You don't see too many rookies, first experience in major leagues, moved around like that, and he's adapted very, very well. Has had a great attitude about it.
2-2 to Escobar, and a call, third strike. 2 down. That'll bring up Sam Fuld.
Looked like a little cutter to me. It was hard to tell, cutter or hard slider. Questionable. Could have gone either way. Tough pitch to hit up and in like that with the ball moving in under your hands. That's a hard pitch to hit. You're hoping that's called a ball.
Fuld continuing to get on base at least twice a game. He's already done it twice today. It's been a great road trip for Fuld and his on-base percentage. Drove in a run with a single in the first, walked in the third. Ball 1. Off to first, safe on a close play. Rosario threw behind Fuld and nearly picked off Willingham.
Nice play by Rosario here. Quick snap throw down the first, caught Josh by surprise. That'll happen sometimes to a guy that's not a base stealer. He feels like nobody's really paying attention to him. Why would they? And then an alert catcher can really catch him sometimes.
Anderson's only walked 2. It was Willingham a few moments ago, and then Fuld in the third, but now he's fallen behind Fuld 3-0. And he walks him on 4 pitches, getting up to the 90 pitch mark. And his counterpart Phil Hughes will hit next. So I think Walt Weiss will let it ride here through this at bat. This would be another good opportunity for Hughes to hit that home run.
Dick, if you're right about that today, it'll be the greatest call in the history of baseball.
Came up with runners at first and second and 2 down in the third and went down swinging. As long as you swing, you got a chance, right?
Mostly right, yes.
Swing and a foul, 1 strike. Willingham with a big secondary lead off of second base. That got Rosario's attention.
Well, here's your home run swing. He goes up there looking for a breaking ball because that's what he got earlier. And swing hard in case you hit it. That's what I think that's what Phil should do. Just swing hard in case you hit it. Swing real hard now.
Half swing, strike 2. I'm telling you, if they throw it where he's swinging, it's going to go a long ways. Hitless now in 11 at-bats with 5 strikeouts.
Well, if you want Brett Anderson to throw it into Phil Hughes' swing, Brett Anderson's got better control than he's shown so far.
In the dirt. It's the last game where Twins pitchers will be asked to hit.
You watch it here land and almost go down. There's the then try to fix the landing spot. That's dangerous there. The 2 pitchers obviously landing in 2 very different spots.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Hughes strikes out, and the Twins leave 2 more aboard after scoring 1 in the 5th. You're watching the Twins and Rockies, brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200.
Pitching and offensively, we've been too streaky, and that's why you end up with those losing streaks of 4, 5, 6 games. And you got to stay away from those things, be a little more consistent, and figure out a way to win series a little more often. But I think streaks are what's the big part of it, and we've been too streaky. And it starts with pitching. Starting pitching's been a little streaky at times, and the same with hitting.
And in terms of streaks, the Twins have had a couple of 5-game losing streaks. Longest winning streak is 4, and they've only had 1 of those. Phil Hughes hoping to continue a winning streak before and then after the All-Star break. Kyle Gibson will pitch the first game out of the break, but now with a 2-run lead in the 5th inning, Tulowitzki will hit, then Morneau and Arenado. Another pitch up. That one up out of the strike zone. And Tulowitzki fouled it to the screen.
And we saw him hit a ball up and out of the strike zone for a home run to right field the first day. And what a terrific player he is. We've seen him make some great plays already in the field defensively as a shortstop, and a tremendous offensive player.
Twins hoping to go into the All-Star break not with a long winning streak, but winning 5 out of 6. And then they hope to pick it up after the break with another good stretch. 1-1 to Tulowitzki. Foul back again. Twins figuratively, and maybe even literally, I don't remember that part, but they limped into the All-Star break last year. They really, really struggled, winning just 3 of their final 15 games going into the break last year. And then they just were out of gas at the end of the season. They won just 5 of their last 25 games. So they finished the first half of the season poorly and finished the second half of the season worse.
Even worse, yep.
1-2 to Tulowitzki. Inside 2-2.
Another front door cutter attempt right there. You saw Kurt Suzuki move inside to give Hughes an inside target. Hughes trying to start it in and bring it back to the inside corner with that cutter. Didn't quite make it.
Rockies with a pair in the first, a pair in the second, and since then 3 in terms of run scoring, meaningless singles. And Hughes has gotten his last 4 outs on strikeouts.
Kurt Suzuki had something away in mind after going in. Now he's going to come back away with what looked like it was trying to be a cutter, or at 93 maybe a fastball. The 3 fingers confused me a little bit, but he was definitely trying to go away after coming in, and I think that's the way you have to try to pitch Tulowitzki, is show him that pitch in, because he wants to get his arms extended. He wants to swing big at it. He doesn't get cheated, and inside strikes he can hit a long way to left field. So you show him the ball in there and then try to get him in a little bit in a hurry and then go back away from him. That's the only thing that I can figure. He's going to get a breaking ball here.
And he got a piece of it, and that got another piece of Suzuki.
Boy, Kurt has just got hammered this series, and even self-inflicted wound with fouling a ball off his ankle, but he's got it in the arm, right in the middle of the chest there. He's taking it right between the eyes, as you mentioned, right in the mask. Tulowitzki just barely getting a piece of that ball. Kurt getting a bigger piece of it. That's too bad.
Another 2-2. And he got him 5 straight outs via strikeout for Phil Hughes. 1 gone in the 5th. That'll bring up Morneau.
That looked like a sinker right there. Maybe that's what the number 3 is. He hasn't thrown a lot of these, but that ball at 88 miles an hour went down very, very well. So that actually adds a 3rd fastball movement to Phil Hughes' arsenal. I have not seen him throw. He's talked about throwing sinkers, but I haven't seen the ball go down nearly as much as that one did. And that could have been a backup cutter as well. Yeah, that had cutter spin. Maybe it was just a backup cutter. But that ball went down hard like a sinker, and I've not seen that kind of movement from a Phil Hughes fastball before.
8 hits for the Rockies, and maybe the most significant one was Morneau's bloop single in the first inning after 9 other pitches. Ball driven to the left field corner, and a foul ball. One and 2. See if Hughes has another strikeout in his right arm. Be nice if you could just simply turn on a switch and do that. Dozier Picks it up, fires to first, not in time. Good try by Dozier, but Morneau gesturing to Dozier after nearly taking a hit away. Morneau has a bloop single to left, and now a ground ball that barely beat the shift.
Justin stays with a breaking ball here pretty well. I think if Brian had been able to catch that ball cleanly, he'd have gotten him. Justin said, "You can't catch everything. Quit it."
Here's Arenado. He's got 2 hits, an RBI double and a single. Driven to right center field. It'll be another extra base hit. Quick retrieve by Fuld. Morneau will be held thanks to a great play by Sam Fuld, who caught it, spun, and fired. And for the time being, Morneau stuck at third base.
And as importantly as the quick grab and throw by Sam Fuld made an accurate throw to the relay man. You see a fastball away from Arenado a little bit. He drove it to right center. The ball will two-hop the fence and jump right back to Sam. He makes a quick turn and throw, but that on-line throw is the most important. If he throws that offline just a little bit, third base coach sends Justin right there. It was the on-line throw to the relay man, Brian Dozier, that held Morneau at third base.
Couple of outfield flies for Corey Dickerson. And the tying run on now at second with 1 out. On the ground to short, a run will score. Escobar to first for out number 2. And it's 6-5. Tying run now at third with 2 away.
Twins fans, don't forget at Twins home games, bring your Circle Me signs, and if you get circled, you may find yourself in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle, where you could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
Willeen Rosario with the tying run at third and 2 down. A single and a strikeout for Rosario. Way out in front, strike 1. It's almost as if Hughes did hit that switch in the third inning. Tired of giving up 7 hits in the first 14 at bats, he started picking up strikeouts. Got 1 to start the inning. Swing and strike 2, and Suzuki gets another wound.
Now he's got the other foot. Foul ball off the bat of Rosario on his right foot. He hit himself on the left foot yesterday. Oh man, right on the instep, the ball of his foot instep underneath the protection there.
Well, Hughes has gotten ahead of 10 batters, 0-2. You can see just angling the foot, right in the instep of the right foot. If there's ever a time when Dave Prumer and Ron Gardenhire come out and they bring Kurt Suzuki with them off the field, you better call a paramedic.
That's absolutely right.
2 strikes to Rosario. And then he has to show some quickness and life in those feet to shuffle his weight to the right to keep the tying run from scoring. And maybe more importantly, calling a breaking pitch in the dirt.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Just come right back to it after getting beat up by that breaking ball 3 or 4 times in the last 2 innings. Just go right back to it. Oh, goodness gracious. Go right back to it again and get nailed again.
I don't think this one got him in the foot.
I don't even want to watch this replay. I really don't.
It has been a very tough ball game for Kurt Suzuki, who got the starting assignment off yesterday, but then ended up making a pinch hitting appearance and staying in the game, catching the end of it yesterday. And as we alluded to it, there was a play, he hit a ground ball, a little chopper in front of the third baseman. There's been a scoring change. Suzuki was given credit for a hit, but now no error was put on the play. So Suzuki got 2 runs batted in instead of 1 yesterday, and none of that matters to Suzuki right now, I can promise you. We want to bet he comes back with another curveball.
If he thinks that's the pitch that's going to get Rosario out, he'll come back with it. Looks like they're going to try to go away with a fastball.
High fastball taken for ball 2.
There's a good example of just not quite the same command that Phil Hughes has of his pitches today as he's had most of this first half of the season. Suzuki wanting a fastball on the outside corner. That was high and in the middle of the plate. Just not quite the same command today.
Backhanded by Plouffe. Good play to end the threat. The Rockies get one but leave one, and the Twins still have a 1-run lead. In front. Time now for our McDonald's Big Moments. Which Twins moment is your favorite? The Shining All-Stars, Suzuki, Perkins, and Dozier selected to participate in the All-Star events. How about Johan Pino getting his first Major League win? It's been a good road trip for the Twins, and they've got a winning record on a road trip for just the second time this season. You can log on to Fox Sports North Facebook page to vote or tweet your pick with hashtag Big Moments on Twitter. Tommy Kahnle is going to pitch for the Colorado Rockies. The Twins ended up scoring 6 runs against Brett Anderson, 5 of them in the first.
Kahnle kind of a middle reliever on the more on the longish side, kind of an Anthony Swarzak or a Sam Deduno kind of roles. Pitched well, opposing batting average only $187, which is awfully good. He's going to try to hold the Twins right where they are, so Colorado get back in the game.
Dozier will lead things off, and Kurt Suzuki was getting a scouting report from Tom Bernansky about Kahnle, what he has, tendencies, things like that.
It looks like his tendencies are to throw all 4 of his pitches a lot. Fastball, slider, change, curve. He's not any one predominantly over the others. So that's pretty good when you can be a semi-long man in the bullpen and have 4 pitches and throw them all equally.
Dozier with a double in 3 trips. He'll be followed by Suzuki and Morales. Just halfway through this game, roughly. Twins had a 5-run lead. Now it's just a 1-run lead again. pointed it out during the Willingham at bat, and essentially the Colorado outfield playing Dozier the same way. Now, he's hit a couple of balls that way, but we've seen Brian throughout the first half be much more of a pull hitter. Strike, 1-1.
Well, I don't agree with that defensive alignment for Dozier, but I especially don't agree with it for Willingham, and especially against the left-hander.
Right.
It just seemed like he would be set up to pull the ball. We're coming in on Brian, which means he's got a chance to pull it. He's trying to come in with the other side of the plate, but you know, Brian is primarily a pull hitter. If you look at where he hits most of the balls in the air, it's going to be to more to left field and left center than right center. But Rockies think they know something.
Popped up left side. Tulowitzki out. You can see him making the catch in short left field. One down, and Kurt Suzuki 1 for 3 at the plate, but an adventure behind it.
Well, it's been a tough day. He's had to bounce around and knock balls down, but the balls have been knocking him down. He's taken an awful lot of foul tips. Got hit on the foot. He's got hit in the middle of the chest protector, in the middle of the mask.
Didn't really need to see that last one again, did we?
Didn't need to see that one again. I really, really did not.
Here is Suzuki. Ball 1.
But that's and not just today. Earlier in this series, he took one off the high forearm. He hit himself in the foot with a foul ball.
Back at home on the last homestand, he got
tried to run through it. Tried to run through
iron
a
railing with some padding on it. A foul. 1-1.
You know, he's just one of the toughest guys there is, and he won't come out of a game. And you look at his stature, and you don't think of a guy, first of all, being a catcher that is as small as he is, and then to have that stature and be that tough. It just keeps impressing all of us with what a gamer he is.
And then let's remember, too, it was his throw that completed the strikeout in the 4th inning by an eyelash that kept the Rockies from tying the game in the 4th. You've seen Kurt block so many pitches. There was one that got away, rolled near the Twins on deck circle, and he had a tough throw right down the baseline, and he got it there just in time. 1-2. And now 2-2.
The really good news for Kurt is that he'll have tonight and tomorrow to heal up from all the blows he's taken, and on Tuesday night when he's introduced and the game starts, he will not feel any of those bruises. That adrenaline and excitement will take care of everything, I promise you.
Swing and a miss. You don't see him strike out very often, but he just did for out number 2. For complete coverage of the Twins from this year's All-Star game, including from today's future game and first-person accounts from Glenn Perkins on Tuesday and Wednesday, head to foxsportsnorth.com/all-star game. Kendrys Morales now as a left-handed batter. Twins haven't seen Canely before, and so far he's gotten the first 2 outs. And to the backstop, ball 1.
Looks like he's got a real good arm, if anything, based on 3 hitters pitched to. We've never seen him pitch before, but based on 3 hitters that he's pitched to, great arm and a little trouble with command of the strike zone. It's kind of all over the place. Could be effectively wild.
1-0. Swing and a foul. An important game for the Twins. If they win it, they will finish that 20-game in 20-day stretch that you've heard everyone talk about. And they will finish it with an 8-12 mark. Now, that doesn't sound great, but when that 20-game stretch starts with a 5-game losing streak, it kind of puts it in perspective. It would be a very nice way for the Twins to finish this first half with a couple of road series wins on the outside corner, and it's 1-2. Got him. Good inning for Canely as the Twins go down 1-2-3. Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's. Stop in all summer for a cool, refreshing McCafe iced coffee, starting at just $1.59. Twins with a 6-5 lead, bottom of the sixth coming up. Twins open up the second half of the season Friday against Tampa Bay. Then on Saturday, the 19th, the first 10,000 fans will pick up a new pair of Twins-branded headphones presented by Delta Airlines, just like the kind Roy Smalley will use to listen to Barry Manilow's greatest hits and David Gates and Bread. Call 833-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com and get your tickets.
You know those artists you mentioned? Someone tried to put those in my iPod and it blew up. I had to get another one. Samuel Deduno in the game now for the Twins. Kind of average-looking numbers. Most of those coming, though, as being influenced by his starting role. In this role as a long man, he has pitched very, very effectively.
And a great situation for him because he's starting an inning. 5 innings. Phil Hughes leaves a 1-run lead to him, and we'll see how he fares here. But he's facing LeMahieu, the pitcher spot, and then Blackman. Up and in, 1-1. Josh Rutledge is in the on-deck circle. And, like everyone else, Deduno gives up a base hit. A leadoff single. Fox Sports Supports is proud to collaborate with Stand Up to Cancer, a groundbreaking initiative created to accelerate innovative cancer research that gets new therapies to patients quickly in order to save lives now. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. Leadoff single in a 1-run game. See if the pinch hitter is asked to bunt here. And he bunts foul twice in this series. We've seen in a bunting situation Walt Weiss also send the runner.
It's been a long time since I've seen that play called at all, and we've seen it twice here this series. Once with it, was it once or both times with the pitcher at the plate?
Rutledge 4 for 15 as a pinch hitter. Now inside, 1-1. Diving back safely is LeMahieu. LeMahieu, a big guy. You see Morales there. LeMahieu at 6'4". Some say that he's the tallest regular second baseman ever to play the game. There he goes. And Suzuki's throw in time to get him. Suzuki throwing out LeMahieu for the first out of the 6th inning.
Nice play by Kurt, coming firing out of there, making a good throw, good pick and tag at the same time by Brian Dozier. And I'm wondering if that was a missed hit and run in some way.
Fouled away, 1-2. Rutledge tried to bunt once. Now with the bases empty and a 1-2 count. Curveball in the dirt. Oh, hit it. You can see where the target was, and it was a curveball, but it just spun out of his hand, and Rutledge will reach being hit by a pitch.
Yep, trying to throw a curveball. Got out his arm, his body way out in front of his arm. Couldn't get the snap on it. Hits Rutledge in the shoulder. If you're ever going to get hit with something, you want it to be a curveball. That's
Blackman, the batter, 8 hits in the series already. Rutledge 0 for 1 in stolen base attempts. On the outside corner, a fastball.
LeMahieu has had 8 steals, but also had been caught 6 times before today, so that's the 7th time, and that's why I wondered if it was a missed hit and run. Rutledge looked kind of confused after LeMahieu got thrown. I just wonder if there was a missed sign there somewhere.
Just foul. Just foul. But now we've seen Deduno a lot more than the Rockies have. He'd be a tough guy to put a hit and run on, wouldn't he? I mean, you never know where the ball's going to go.
I agree, and that would seem to indicate more of a straight steal situation. Manager Walt Weiss banking on the fact that it might not be an easy pitch come up there to the plate for Suzuki to throw on. And it just didn't look like a great jump to me. And looked like more of a hit and run jump.
2 strikes. Is that curve in the dirt, but he Rutledge and hit him with one.
Very impressive year, of course, in the All-Star game this year, but he's got 14 home runs and 51 or 2 RBIs. He got 51 going in today. He's got a sac fly today, so 52 RBIs. 18. So power and speed at the lead.
And Deduno with
18 steals. So power and speed at the leadoff spot.
And Deduno with that breaking ball down and in, gets a strikeout, 2 down. And that'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, we know that Sammy's ball moves all over the place. I'm not sure that that was a breaking ball. I think that was just another example of a fastball that he doesn't know exactly which way it's going to move. Sometimes it cuts. That one looked like it went straight down.
I think you're right. I think it was just a fastball, but it had almost like a slider breaking ball tilt to it.
Yeah, he just doesn't know, and nor does the hitter. It makes it very tough on everybody.
Up and away, ball 1. Because of the natural, albeit unpredictable movement that he has, can understand why the Twins are trying to protect him and keep him up here in a variety of different roles. He's bounced around a little bit in his career, but up to the backstop. It comes back to Suzuki, but he couldn't field it, or he might have had a shot at the advancing Rutledge. 1-1.
There's a great example of Sam not really knowing where it's going, the hitter not being able to hit it, the catcher not being able to catch it. And you're right, he's got such a good arm and such great movement. You can't teach movement like that. Either you have that or you don't, and most people don't. The Twins would hate to lose him. You're right, they're trying to find a spot for him just so to see if he can harness that at some point in time.
Hit on the ground softly to Dozier. Over to first, that ends the inning. Gaduno with a scoreless 6. Special awards show coming up. Roy Smalley's mid-season awards coming up next.
You're not going to want to miss it. Double, a big 2 RBI single by Parmalee. Willingham got a single, and then Escobar with a double for a couple of runs. Rockies came back. Justin Morneau with a single. Arenado with a double to right center. But then both pitchers settled down. Phil Hughes, after a rocky couple of innings, came right back, and as did Brett Anderson. And as we go here to the top of the 7th, we have a 6-5 ball game here. Twins holding a slim lead.
Trevor Plouffe, the cleanup hitter today, will hit against a new pitcher, left-hander Rex Brothers, pitched here the other night.
Manager Walt Weiss bringing in the left-handed Brothers to pitch to Trevor, a couple of right-handers actually. And here in this inning, a couple of guys that hit left-handers pretty well. Trevor Plouffe, actually 3 guys. Chris Parmalee, left-hander, hits left-hander as well, and then hopefully Josh Willingham can get himself going against a left-hander.
Plouffe with a double and a triple and 2 runs scored. Inside 2-0. To right and down for a hit. Now there's a single. Presuming he comes up one more time, he's a home run short of the cycle.
And love to see him get it.
You know, the hits have come that way and then down the right field line. Here's Roy Smalley's mid-season awards.
Well, we looked at who's done the best job on the mound this year. It's got to be Clayton Kershaw. He's tied for 3rd with 11 wins, but it's the best winning percentage, the best ERA. He's been phenomenal. Rookie Jose Abreu just killing it with leading rookies in baseball. 29 home runs, a bunch of RBIs, 70-some RBIs. Oakland A's, I think, the best team so far. They lead Major League Baseball with 58 wins. Not only the best team, but surprisingly the best team. And this is going to be a little controversial, people. My Nelson Cruz pick as the MVP, real nod to Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera probably having the best year all around, but where would the Baltimore Orioles be without Nelson Cruz this year and what he's done, especially with Chris Davis really in a prolonged slump this year? Nelson Cruz has just driven in every run he's looked at for the Orioles and kept him in first place in the American League East. He's having a phenomenal year.
Chris Parmelee, the batter, on a 1-1 count. Sliced foul, 1-2. We were talking earlier about the travel, how extensive and difficult it's been for the Twins. The Twins have only one city to go to in the American League East, and that's Baltimore. 2 cities to go to in the American League West, although only one is out of the Central Time Zone. That's Oakland, Houston the other. And the rest of the travel will be within the American League Central. 1-2. Parmelee with a loop down the left field line, and that's a fair ball. Rounding second on his way to third. Plouffe will reach safely. So Parmelee with another hit against a left-hander, his second today, and the Twins are threatening with runners at first and third and nobody out.
Good base running there by Trevor Plouffe. Real nice job of hitting against the left-hander by left-handed hitting Chris Parmelee. Stays with it. Doinks one down the left field line. He's got some of these coming to him. But Trevor Plouffe, in a situation where with nobody out, you must not be out at third. Good play to get there, but you must not be out. You have to make it, and he did. Nice base running there.
But isn't that one of the situations you talked about before? First to third, it's almost automatic here, isn't it? Because the outfielders have to play so deep.
Yep, it is virtually automatic on anything but a one-hopper at an outfielder.
Big at bat here now for Willingham. Infield playing back for a double play grounder, and Willingham takes a strike at the knees. A hit, a walk. Willingham hoping to drive in at least one here in the 7th inning.
This is a big at bat. Getting here in the late innings in a big offensive ballpark. Twins could really use some breathing room here.
On another strike taken at the knees, and it's 0-2.
Pretty sure Josh up there looking for a breaking ball. That right from the start of the at bat, he's taken 2 fastballs here, and admittedly they were pretty good pitches down, but just the way he took those pitches didn't look like he was at all ready for fastball. Looked like he was looking for something off speed.
Checked his swing, 1-2. And if you're brothers, you're going, look, I'm in here, I'm throwing good pitches. I've just given up a couple of flares, and now I'm in a real mess. First and third, nobody out.
I think this is what, as we look at Adam Ottavino out in the pen, he has some nasty stuff. He's been very, very good for Colorado. I think this is the biggest frustration for Rockies pitchers and any pitcher that comes in here to pitch. It's just the amount of balls that would not be hits that are hits, the amount of balls that would be singles that are doubles.
Another nice block by Rosario, 2-2. Trying to put the ball in play. Got it. High fastball, swing and a miss, strikeout. Now Escobar will have his at bat. Can you beat the best? Join millions of players now on the only official Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Square off against your friends from around the world, live in multiplayer derby mode, and climb to the top of the leaderboards. Download today for free on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Escobar with a pair of hits, and this is an even bigger at bat now for Escobar than it was for Willingham. Twins need to get something out of this. Putting runners at first and third with nobody out. Fox Tracks presented by Carrier.
Yeah, absolutely essential to get this run in from third. That would be a very, very tough inning to get a guy to third base and nobody out and not get him in.
Inside, ball one.
Good guy to have up there right now. Escobar is hot. He's been swinging the bat very, very well here in this 3-game series. Got to figure out some way to get the ball in the outfield, get the running.
Down and away. Two and 0 to the Twins shortstop. 3-0. Sam Fuld on deck. And he walks Escobar to load him up with 1 out. Fuld, of course, has reached all 3 times today.
Interesting, not a lot of drop off at all in the lineup to the 7th and 8th spot. 2 of the hottest hitters on the Twins club the last at least 3 games for Escobar and the last 2 or 3 weeks for Sam Fuld, and he's been very good against left-handers as well. Good battling at bats. He's got a chance to pick up a run or 2. Very, very big runs right here.
Fuld's been on base 16 times in the last 5 games. And a fastball for strike 1.
Pretty good take right there by Sam Fuld. He walks Escobar on 4 pitches, so let's see if how bad he's struggling to find the strike zone. Now Sam will get back into the at-bat after taking a strike.
Low 1-1. About as short an outfield as I've seen played here. Playing Fuld very deep in the outfield at all. Chris Colabello's come out onto the on-deck circle.
They're playing regular depth in every other ballpark.
1-1. Popped up to center field. Blackman setting up for the catch. Plouffe setting up for the tag. And the throw offline and not handled by the catcher. Plouffe scores on a sacrifice fly by Sam Fuld. No, he doesn't reach base, but he does something just as good in this case. He drove in a run.
Absolutely. Big run right there. Picked up by Sam Fuld.
Advancing to third is Parmalee. And Escobar, I think, being scolded a little bit by Scotty Elger for still being at first base. And with Chris Colabello announced as the pinch hitter, Walt Weiss is going to make a move and bring in a right-hander. The Twins adding an insurance run here in the 7th. With Colabello announced, Aduno's done for the day, and for that matter, so is Brothers.
Get the best and toughest
in Denver's been that of a pinch hitter, and he'll have that opportunity here in the 7th inning.
And he was running up there to the batter's box trying to get in there before Rice took out the left-hander. And there wasn't much chance that he was going to get a chance to hit against anybody but Adam Ottavino, who has been very, very good for the Rockies, especially lately. Leads the Rockies in holds, which is a situation he doesn't find himself in a hold situation because they don't have the lead here, but he's trying to hold the Twins from getting any more runs and letting the game get out of hand.
1st and 3rd, 2 down. That gets away. Trying to score is Parmalee, and the flip hitting Parmalee. And a terrible first pitch by Ottavino. Both runners will move up. And the Twins get another run on a wild pitch. That nearly hit Colabello. And now third base umpire Angel Hernandez is going to come in.
It hit the umpire, yeah. It got him pretty well.
And then the flip hit Parmalee in the back pocket. It is a passed ball, not a wild pitch. It was a breaking ball that, when it got away from the catcher, I thought originally it had hit Colabello. But a passed ball, and the Twins now have a 3-run lead. Bounce to third. And over to first. Colabello's appearance is done. The Twins start the inning with a pair of singles. Both guys come around to score. And it's a 3-run lead with the Twins ready to pitch to the Rockies in the bottom of the 7th inning. Trying to win this series 2-1 and head home with a 5-2 road trip. This Sunday afternoon, the last Sunday of the unofficial first half of the year, we're proud to bring you God Bless America.
With us on the field today is Sergeant Edward Welsh. Sergeant Welsh joined the Marine Corps in March 2006, and from 2006 until 2013, he was deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. He is currently serving as a recruiter with the Marine Recruiting Station in Denver. Among the many honors he has received are 2 Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medals, 2 Good Conduct Medals, and 2 Naval Unit Citation Ribbons, just to name a few. Fans, please give a warm Coors Field Heroes welcome to Sergeant Edward Welsh and all of our nation's brave men and women, as well as the families of our heroes. We thank you for your service and sacrifice. Fans, please rise as we honor our great country by the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the United States Air Force Academy Band, is Master Sergeant Tim Allums. Please welcome Master Sergeant Allums and join him by singing along to God Bless America.
We're back in Colorado. The Twins and Rockies series brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200 with available all-wheel drive, America's import. Twins have pushed the lead back out to 3. And Matt Guerrero will pitch next for the Twins, facing Troy Tulowitzki leading off the 7th. Up high, ball 1. Tulowitzki, Morneau, and Arenado will hit for the Rockies here in the 7th. Swing and a miss.
This is, I believe, a very, very big inning for Matt Guerrero and the Twins. They've gotten a couple of gift runs. They've moved out to a 3-run lead. Shut them down right here. Get into the closing type guys in the bullpen without the Rockies benefiting from looking at it a little closer score. I think this is a big inning right here. If they want to, Twins want to close it out a little bit more comfortably. This is the inning to get through these guys.
Fly ball, center field. Fuld is out there. Coming in now about as far as he went back, 1 away.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins, LLC.
1 down. And Justin Morneau.
Big out right there getting Tulowitzki. I think Matty got away with one there. A high fastball that Tulowitzki got under a little bit. 1 down in the 7th.
Ball 1. One and 0. We haven't seen in this series, and we hope we'll see it when we're on the bus on our way to the airport, we have not seen Morneau sting the ball, as he apparently has on a fairly regular basis. We've seen a couple of doink hits and a ground ball hit his last time up, but we haven't seen him really light up the scoreboard with an extra base hit or certainly a home run.
I think we've seen him sting it. We haven't seen him drive it. He hit a line drive at the shortstop on Friday night.
Yeah, that's right.
And the ball that he hit there.
But that one hit off the end of the bat.
We've seen a few of those.
Yeah. His 3rd hit of the game, none of the 3 been hit hard. And he's aboard with 1 out in the 7th. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. You can tweet your photo to #NorthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by AT&T. From FanFest, a photo taken as we speak. The world team is leading the U.S. team in the futures game 2-1. Bert Blyleven managing the world team. Tom Kelly, the U.S. team. Down and away, ball 1. Arenado with 3 hits, 2 doubles and a single today. Twins had a chance for 1 double play earlier. It was in the Morneau at bat in the 3rd inning, but they didn't turn it. Foul to the backstop, 1-1.
Yeah, Arenado has kind of broken out of a little bit of scuffling that he had when he first came back from being hurt. Broken out in this series. He's swung the bat very well against the Twins. Good looking player.
1-1. 2-1. Guerrero has evolved now into a good, reliable, serviceable relief pitcher. And of the experiments that the Twins tried, bringing back former Twins, this one seems to have worked. There's no reason to believe Guerrero can't continue to do what he's been doing very well for the rest of the season. Of course, Jason Bartlett, Jason Kubel no longer with the team.
It looks like it was just a question of Matt getting his arm strength back and then getting a feel for the release point on his breaking pitches. But internal makeup is not going to be a problem for this guy.
Chopped. Foul.
Question of getting the arm strength and the command back, and once he had that, he's a real competitor and a good intestinal fortitude guy. He will come at hitters with his good stuff and not afraid to throw any pitch any time. He's a tough guy out there.
Two and two. Struck him out. 2 down.
92 mile an hour fastball there. Was it really at the upper register of Guerrero's fastball? That was a good pitch. Had some good life late, some good movement. 92 miles an hour. That was a terrific pitch.
Gave up a home run to Barnes here on Friday night. The first home run he's given up all year long. 2 down, and here is Dickerson.
Well, Barnes really kind of ambushed Matty that night. He throwing, I wouldn't exactly call it a get-me-over fastball, but trying to get ahead, and Barnes was ready for it. Got him for a home run, but as you say, he doesn't give up a lot of home runs, and there's another good example. 90 mile an hour fastball with some good movement.
They got a swing and a miss.
They got a swing and a miss.
1 strike. And now a ball. Brewers ended a skid with an 11-2 win over St. Louis. So they'll go into the break leading their division after the Cardinals have pulled into a tie. And we told you earlier, Cleveland beat the White Sox and Kansas City beat Detroit. One and one to Dickerson. Just off the plate. 2-1. Three and one. The walk gets the tying run to the plate. Waleed Rosario in the on-deck circle. Home runs haven't been a problem. Neither of walks for Guerrero. Just 5 unintentional walks in nearly 27 innings. 3 and 2. Twins jumped out to a 5-0 lead in the first inning. The Rockies came back at them, but never did get the game tied up. And now it's 8-5. Runner goes, and the pitch popped up near third. Kloof near the railing. Room to make the catch, and it's a scoreless 7th for Matty Guerrero. You're watching the Twins and Rockies, brought to you by Number 17 for Dozier.
And I don't understand why they were playing him. Don't understand the high inside fastball we've been talking about. He's been, especially against the Rockies. What a big swing that is. Giving the Twins a quick 4-run lead here. And Brian Dozier is heading into the All-Star break. Fire, playing every aspect of this game just perfectly.
It's today. Suzuki means is that Trevor in the 8th inning. And if Plouffe hits a home run, he will have hit for the cycle here today.
And I am fervently pulling for that.
High, 2-0. Suzuki singled his first time up. And a base hit to right. So 2 hits today for Suzuki. I think what we've seen, as you take a look at Dozier's home run here, is 17th of the year.
There's a grip by the pitcher. It's a two-seamer that didn't seam. He tried to get that ball to run in, stayed straight and high, right in the wheelhouse that we've seen from Brian Dozier. Now, we have talked about it and shown you why Brian is so good at that, at getting the big end of the bat to that pitch, and just another example.
Just the 5th home run allowed by Ottavino. Morales has had a relatively quiet day, kind of a squib hit, a double in the 2nd inning. But in terms of run production, and the Twins now have 9 of them, he's neither. He did score a run after his fielder's choice in the 1st inning. Inside, missing 1-1. Looking at the list here, you never did hit for the cycle, but some of your teammates did.
Well, I've got my hit for the cycle story. I'll tell you sometime.
All right. Rod Carew, Cesar Tovar, Larry Heisel, Lyman Bostock, Mike Cubbage, Gary Ward, Kirby Puckett. You played with all those guys, didn't you?
Yep.
Carlos Gomez, Jason Kubel, the most recent cycle hit for the Twins, Michael Kadire. That was more than 5 years ago. 2-1. 3-1, and Plouffe is on deck. Towering fly ball. Blackman comes in. 1 down. And now Plouffe, who's already had a big day at the plate in the series finale.
Well, he started the day with a double to right center. Just a real good swing. Big hit at the time. Then he crashed one to the deepest part of the ballpark. The ball just kept carrying. He gets in for a triple, raises his hand in the stand-up slide, and the ball deflects into the dugout. He was able to score, and then he doinked one into right field for a single. And I'm telling you, if I'm Trevor Plouffe now, I am swinging for the fences.
Really?
Absolutely. And when I say that, I don't mean I'm taking a swing. As we look at the last player to hit for the cycle for the Twins back in 2009, Michael Kadire. And I remember I was at that game. He needed a triple to get it, and hit it down the left field line and got it. That was very exciting.
1-0 to Plouffe. And a strike, 1-1. Plouffe with 6 home runs on the season.
And I don't mean that I would do anything different in my swing. I'd swing harder or bigger or longer or anything, but I would be looking for what I consider my home run pitch, and for Trevor, maybe a low and sort of in fastball and try to get the big end of the bat out in front, drive it to my pull field. I would definitely try to get it started to my pull field as best I could.
2-1. Plouffe's last home run coming a week from today, a week ago today against the Yankees. And a foul. Only 5 opponents have hit for the cycle against the Twins. Freddie Patek, Freddie Lynn, Paul Molitor, Travis Hafner, and Adrian Beltre.
How'd Hafner get a triple?
Ball was hit over Louis Rivas's head, and it rolled and rolled and rolled at the Metrodome. 2-2 to Plouffe. Got a pitch up and fouled it straight back.
Yeah, ball just a little bit away from him. It was a bit of a hanger there, and Trevor had a good swing at it. He saw it well, saw it early. If that ball had been a little bit more inside, he might have given that cycle a shot right there.
Another 2-2 pitch. High fly to center. Blackman is there. 2-9 now. All right, what's your cycle or near cycle story?
I was playing for the Yankees. We were playing in the stadium. I had a single, a triple, and a home run. I came up in the 8th inning, my last at bat, needing a double, and I had made up my mind if I got a base hit, I was going to second. They were going to have to throw me out at second, and I hit a ball right down the right field line, past the first baseman. I'm running down to first saying, I got it. I'm on my way to second. It's a clear double, but it hit the jut out of the stands in Yankee Stadium and bounced right to the right fielder, and had I gone to second, I'd been thrown out by 89 feet. I mean, as much as I wanted to just go ahead and get thrown out at second on anything semi-close, I just didn't feel like getting thrown out by 88 or 89 feet would have been a professional thing.
Wearing a Yankee uniform at Yankee Stadium.
At Yankee Stadium,
yes.
Absolutely. And when I hit it, I thought for sure. I mean, you can't get a double hitting the ball down the right field line. When are you going to get one?
Popped up, and it'll reach the seats. Why is that such a goal? And it's an oddity. It's a quirky thing. It's 4 hits in one game. That part's really nice. But why is it such a big deal for a hitter to hit for the cycle?
Just because it doesn't happen very often, for you to say, now here are all the Twins players did. You never did you, Roy? And I go, well, shoot, I'd like to say, yeah, I did.
Well, you didn't do it for the Twins. You nearly did it for the Yankees.
Nearly did it for the Yankees. But I will tell you that 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run would be better. But it wouldn't be for the cycle, right? And I kind of think that you ought to get that should count for a cycle. You get 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. I mean, you could have stayed at first on one of those doubles.
That's a story they still tell about Sam Fuld. A New Englander was playing, I believe it was his first game, or at least his first series at Fenway Park. And he needed a double, I believe it was, for the cycle. No, it was a single for the cycle, and he stretched it into a double in his last at bat because, he wanted to be known more for the guy who always took the extra base rather than cruised into first with a single.
Right. Good for Sam.
3-1 to Parmalee. The Twins have added another run here, and it's been the add-on runs that have meant the difference. 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th, and 1 here in the 8th. Parmalee strikes out. 3-2. Parmalee with a couple of big hits against left-handed pitching. A couple of runs scored, a couple of runs batted in.
Yeah, he's had a very, very nice day. He's got some really huge hits, 2 gigantic hits for the Twins here these last 2 days.
And flip foul.
Nice to see him shoot one in the gap here to score Suzuki all the way from first. I don't think you ever feel like you've got enough runs. 4-run lead going to the bottom of the 8th is very, very nice. But in this ballpark, I don't know if you ever feel like you have enough. Rockies have helped the Twins with 2 kind of gift runs.
Suzuki takes off again, and Parmalee takes a call, 3rd strike. Breaking ball got it. Brian Dozier started the inning with a home run, and the Twins now lead by 4. wins in bunches here at Coors Field. How much of it is the ballpark?
You know, some of it is the ballpark, but they've swung the bats very well and had very consistently good at bats up and down the lineup. I can think of a couple of balls that have shot the right center field gap that might not have been might not have scored some of the guys from first base that they did that in other ballparks. But other than that, I mean, I think the ballpark kind of giveth and taketh away. Trevor Plute's triple would have been a home run a lot of places.
Rosario will lead things off against Casey Fiend. Mayhew, and then the pitcher spot due up. Strike one. Now, this is not the best day to bring this up because the Twins made a base running gaffe in the first inning, but the thing that's impressed me on this road trip is the base running. There have been a lot of aggressive first to third sprints on base hits, trying to make something happen, and for the most part it's all worked out rather well, and that, I think, as much as anything else, is why the Twins are on the verge of maybe winning 5 games on this road trip. On the outside corner, 0-2.
Well, playing the game correctly in all aspects, all phases, always helps. Everything's going to contribute to wins, or conversely, wins you don't get because you make some mistakes in some aspect of the game. Twins have played very, very clean baseball. Now they're in a situation, thanks to the job that Matt Guerrero and Samuel Deduno did. Wow, as Rosario goes down and swinging at a ball over his head, but they're in a situation right now as we look at the Chrysler road ahead, the All-Star break, which is going to be a blast up there in Minneapolis, and then a nice long homestand, Dick, for the Twins.
You know, the Tampa Bay Rays won today. They're 9 games below 500. Cleveland Indians won today. They're at 500. And the Chicago White Sox, if this game doesn't turn around in Colorado's way, will be essentially tied with the Twins. So a chance for the Twins to continue to play well, hopefully pick up some wins and get a little bit closer to that 500 mark.
Right. I started to say, because of the job that Samuel Deduno and Matt Guerrero did in the 6th and 7th innings, manager Ron Gardenhire now has a 4-run lead, and his closers, his 8th inning guy and his 9th inning guy, all set up for him here to try to finish out the game. Casey Fiend, as we've talked about, has done a terrific job in the 8th inning. And you got the All-Star out there in the bullpen. Even though this, if it stays here, it won't be a save situation. No reason not to bring Glenn Perkins in the game with the All-Star break coming up. Great pitch right there to strike him out.
Fiend with 2 strikeouts.
Nice little cutter right there. You know, this could be anybody. Obviously, that could be Stan Musial, could be Ted Williams, could be the Hammer.
Mays, Musial, Mantle.
Yep,
Musial.
I think that's what I said, wasn't it?
Yep. Stan the Man, who just recently passed away.
What a hitter! What a player!
What a gentleman!
What a gentleman!
I hope that, we've lost some great ones. Harmon, Stan Musial. Musial revered maybe even more in St. Louis than Harmon was in Minnesota. Face of the Cardinals. Well, we won't even continue this thought because the way Fiend's going, he's going to take care of Stubbs. Stubbs with 2 quick strikes, and he's the team leader in strikeouts. One and 2. Chopper to third. Good inning for Casey Fiend and a great first half for the right-hander as he pitches a 1-2-3 8th inning. 9-5, and we want to thank the boys in the radio booth who have way too much time on their hands, including Kyle Hammer, the producer engineer in the background there with the wry smile. Yes.
Yeah, and I will mention to Danny Gladden after the game is over that of all people, he's the last guy ought to get on anybody's hair, color, length, or otherwise.
It's just nice to see him at a Sunday afternoon game through his playing days. Well, the Twins comfortably in front here, if there is such a thing, here at Coors Field, and the Twins will hit here in the 9th inning. It'll be Josh Willingham, Eduardo Escobar, and Sam Fuld.
Brooks Brown on to pitch for the Rockies. Only his 4th game since being called up early this month, July the 6th, I think.
Outside, ball 1. You know, we've talked about this stretch of games that the Twins have been in, and it is a grind. It's the longest period of time you can play without a day off. 20 games in 20 days. And even with a win, the Twins' record in that stretch just 8-12. But more importantly, in the second half, their longest stretch like that is 13 games. They don't have any of the 20 for 20s. And you like to check these things off your list, not have to deal with them anymore, and the Twins will have done that with the end of this road trip.
Right, get those kinds of tough parts of the schedule behind you. Now they're heading into not any long stretches of games in a row, as you mentioned. They've got a lot of games at home. They have a lot of games against their own division. They have yet to have a real great offensive run up and down the lineup. So a lot of good things can happen here in the second half.
Just off the outside corner. You know, and so when we talk about weather issues and not having postponements, and let's try to get this game in because we don't want to get things stacked up at the end. That's what teams are talking about. Whether it's a doubleheader on a Sunday, there's a half swing, strike 3, Willingham gone, or having a valued off day filled because of an earlier rain out. They really are important for the teams to. We've all seen recently what an off day can mean to a bullpen that's already overworked. 1 down.
Baseball season, most analogous to a marathon, I guess. And if you're going to run 26 miles, you really don't want to run any extra yardage.
Right.
You know, and that's what double headers are. That's what missing off days are.
A high fly down the right field line and fairly deep, but foul. You know, the way the game used to be played, and you may have gotten a little bit of it in the beginning part of your career, where the double headers were the norm on Sunday, and then Monday typically was an off day. That's kind of the way it went.
That's the way it was when my dad played, not when I played. No, I'm saying we played double headers on Sunday and then played a lot of Monday games too.
All right. But the intent of the Monday or the Sunday doubleheader was to allow for a travel day. And I know back then it was trains, not planes and all that. But the way the game is played now, you couldn't play a schedule like that, could you? Double headers every Sunday? With Glenn Perkins warming up for the 9th.
Well, I will tell you that when I was playing, they instituted in the basic agreement negotiation between the players and association and the owners, they instituted this no more than, and at that time it was 21 days in a row without an off day. And there was one stretch, I recall, in 77 or 78, 79, one of those, where we played some amazing amount of games, something like 65 games in 69 days, and we played 21 off day, 21 off. I mean, we played a lot, and I remember playing shortstop every day, and that is a grind. You know, you play every day.
Inside, I had an idea and I bounced it off a few people, and I didn't even get mixed response. I got thumbs down from pretty much everyone. But to extend that period of time when you can play, and then in essence have 3 or maybe 4 all-star breaks for the players. The ball hit up the middle, and Escobar has another hit. 4th time he's reached, 3 times on base hits. Sam Fuld will bat next. Century Link to what's next, of course, the All-Star game. Home Run Derby featuring Justin Morneau and Brian Dozier tomorrow night. And the game itself, it should be a wonderful tribute to baseball in Minnesota and the major leagues.
Really, really looking forward to both the Home Run Derby and the game. I'm going to go to the Home Run Derby just because I want to see where in that ballpark we know so well some of these balls land.
Fuld takes a strike.
There will be some balls up in the, not only up in the 3rd deck in left field, but way back in that 3rd deck. That's going to be really, really fun. And I'm hopeful that Justin will 2-hop First Avenue back there and beyond the right field fence.
And Fuld gets another base hit. He's reached 4 times. The only time he didn't get on base today, a sacrifice fly. 1st and 2nd, only 1 out. And that will bring up Chris Herman, who will hit in the pitcher spot.
Sam hanging in there a long time, letting the ball travel back and just slapping the ball to left field. He's got a very, very nice hitting approach going right now, working with Tom Brunansky. I've watched them work in the cage, and he's really, really got a nice little approach going.
So how would you feel about the notion of extending the time for games to be played to 25, 27, 28, whatever it would be, and then within every season there would be 3 or 4 3-day breaks instead of having an off day? And I'm thinking about it more from the player's standpoint, and also from with it, a side effect of it, you would no longer have to have an interleague series all the time, because one team at various times during the 6-month schedule would have a weekend off, or would have Tuesday through Thursday off. You wouldn't necessarily have to have, you'd have to have 2 teams do that, I guess, alternately, but you wouldn't have to have an American and a National League team playing each other all the time. Tapper right side, and that's off the glove of Morneau, and Escobar will scamper around 3rd and score. Herman with a base hit, and he'll get a run batted in.
Well, like I say, never have too many runs at Coors Field. Mike Herman coming up, ready to swing the bat, hits the ball. I mean, I was like, you know what? I did that to Chris the other day. Mike Herman,
Mike Herman's going to fly you home today.
And that's why he's so important to me and on my mind here. As much as Chris Herman, who we're looking at right now. I did that to Chris yesterday in the elevator. Rode up with him in the elevator. And actually I did, and I saw him in the lobby, but I just wanted to say that, because you get to have all your conversations with people in the elevator.
Not all of them, just the ones I tend to relate on the air. 1-0 to Dozier.
Mike Herman is our director of travel services for the Twins. Does a phenomenal job. Is going to get me home tonight finally, and so he was on my mind when Chris Herman got that base hit. Good for Chris.
Dozier homered his last time up. Outside chance that Trevor Plouffe will have another opportunity to hit a home run and complete the cycle. So you like my wild, crazy, borderline stupid idea?
No.
You don't? Okay. That's kind of the reaction I've got. I just, from the player standpoint, it'd be nice to have 3 or 4 breaks of more than one day, I thought. Another one, wallop to left. This was back, and it is gone. Another home run for Brian Dozier. Number 18, 3 extra base hits. And 4 runs batted in the last 2 innings.
You know, I watched Brian in batting practice today, in his last 2 rounds, he was, I think, pretending like he was in the Derby, because he was hitting ball after ball into the left field seats. And they insist on throwing him high fastballs on the inside part of the plate, and I just don't know why they think there's a future in that, but there just isn't.
The Twins need one more base runner to get Plouffe up to the plate one more time. Suzuki with 2 hits, and the Twins with a season high 18 hits now.
What a terrific road trip for the Twins here heading into the break. And this is one of the reasons why I don't want more 3 or 4 day breaks. You get hot like this, right, like the Twins are. If I'm Brian Dozier, if I'm Trevor Plouffe right now, the All-Star break is kind of coming at the worst possible time. I'm as hot, Eduardo Escobar. Why do I want to take 4 days off when I'm as hot as I am right now? Now, the converse is also true. I know Josh Willingham's got to feel like good. I just not even going to think about hitting for 4 days. But I think for the most part, players get in a rhythm and need to be playing every day.
That's a bit surprising. As many as he's hit in the last year and a half, this is his first multi-home run game.
The same swing we've seen all series, right on that pitch. He is locked in right now.
And a breaking ball gets a swing and a miss. It's similar to the pitch that Suzuki struck out on in the 6th.
I hope Brian Dozier stays locked in for tomorrow night.
Well, I think I know where his brother is going to try to throw the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bounce to the right side. Morneau backhands this one. And now Morales has to reach to get Plouffe to the plate one more time. The Twins have done here in the extra or the late innings here in Colorado. They did it yesterday, did it again here today. 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and 4 so far here in the 9th. Plouffe hoping for a chance. He's gotten a single, double, and triple. And Morales having a relatively quiet day at the plate. Swing and a foul. Twins scored 5 runs in the first. They've never trailed in the game, although the Rockies did cut the lead to 5-4 and then later 6-5. 1-1. Foul back, and it's 1-2. One and two to Kendrys Morales. And now 2-2. Tough inning for Brown. Not all the hits here in the 9th have been hit hard, but the last hit was a screaming line drive to left for the 3-run home run for Dozier. Morneau blocks it and ends the inning. Plouffe left in the on-deck circle. Brian Dozier in the 8th and again in the 9th. Tuning up for the Home Run Derby tomorrow night.
pitcher going out on a mound, and going to the break feeling pretty good about ourselves.
Of course, Ron Gardenhire will be part of the coaching staff for the American League at the All-Star game on Tuesday night. Has duties throughout the day tomorrow. It's not an automatic for a coach to agree to serve. See Chris Herman behind the plate, and Glenn Perkins will be the new pitcher for the Twins. A couple of times Ron Gardenhire has declined the offer, one because Twins were on the East Coast, game was on the West Coast, and he didn't want to go all the way out there. But I think the best story about Gardy not serving as a coach was when the Twins had a very strong delegation head to San Diego after winning the World Series in 1991. Ron Gardenhire was the third base coach. First pitch, a strike. And, of course, Tom Kelly wanted Ron Gardenhire to be part of the coaching staff. And Gardy thought better of it. He thought it would be much better to send Wayne Terwilliger in his stead. Wayne was toward the end of his great baseball career. And so Gardy, not knowing whether he'd ever have the opportunity again, this one fouled back and out of play, just passed on the opportunity and let Wayne Terwilliger go. And I think that speaks an awful lot about the man, that he wanted a fellow coach to go rather than him.
Speaks very, very directly to the kind of guy Ron Gardenhire is, because at that time, third base coach doesn't know if he's ever going to get a manager job in the big leagues, doesn't know how he would ever get to an all-star game. As
Perkins puts Blackman away quickly.
Blackman strikes out on a nasty slider on the black outside. Good pitch from Perk, but for him to have recognized that, what would it have been, 50-year career of Twig, maybe probably more than that at that time, 50 years in baseball, and let Twig go out to an all-star game, and that's really, really cool. And Twig had a great time out there.
Got a chance to meet Ted Williams when he was out there. Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio were the honorary captains for the American League that year. Foul back, one strike. A tune-up for Perkins here. We certainly, I think, are safe in assuming that he'll pitch an inning of the All-Star game on Tuesday, but we don't know which one, of course. It's entirely possible that if the American League is leading in the ninth inning, that Perkins might get the call. 1-1. It will be a big thrill to take that mound representing the American League, but more specifically the Minnesota Twins and his home state.
I gotta believe that he will be saved for late inning, one inning appearance. If it's not, and I really hope the American League takes a lead into the seventh or eighth, and he's still available to pitch. It would be wonderful.
Morales across the line with the catch out, number 2.
It must be great to have him come in a real meaningful situation in the 8th or 9th inning. He may not be the 9th inning closer. A lot of good closers in the league, but manager John Farrell's got to be thinking about it pretty seriously about how great it would be. And
the fact that he's left-handed isn't going to hurt him, I wouldn't think. 2 down. It's something that's never been done, by the way. No Minnesota native has ever played in an all-star game in Minnesota. Of course, Tom Bernansky, the only Twin all-star in 1985, and he's from California. Killebrew, Oliva, Batty, Hall, Grant, they were all not Minnesota natives. Bernansky had one at bat in the 85 All-Star game. He retold the story to me this morning. Jeff Reardon got him to bounce out to short on a slider. It was a fly to deep right. One of these Tulowitzki pop-ups. And it's in play off the wall, and Tulowitzki will go to second with a double. Not too different than the one he hit here Friday night that went into the seats.
Not too different at all. Same kind of pitch, same kind of swing, and when he hits him, the ball just carries it. Ball out away from him. He gets the big end of the bat to the ball. Looks like he gets under it, but the ball just keeps carrying. You know, Dick, you've asked him. We talked about backspinning the baseball, and he does that as well as anybody. Partly got very close.
McHenry hitting for Morneau. And a swing and a foul back. Morneau hitting .261 against left-handers this year. One strike. And now 2 strikes. Oh, and 2 to McHenry. And Herman can't quite hang on to the foul tip. Don't know when the next time will be that we'll face the Rockies. Might be as soon as next year. They may come to Minnesota for all we know. But apparently this will be the first time that the road team has won a series between these two teams. Tulowitzki at second with 2 gone and 2 strikes to McHenry. Dozier backhands it. And the Twins will head home with a 5-2 road trip. Jamie Hirsch, the Twins didn't do too well on this road trip in series openers, but they won every other game. And they will start the second half on Friday night from Target Field with a little momentum.